Let me just make sure this is all working here.
It
Yeah,
only
so
allows for maximum 4 people, right?
yeah, but usually there's only 4 of us anymore.
Yeah, because Andria's,
Where is
I don't
she?
know.
I don't know. All right, so we should be live. Let me get you a link, and I just have to adjust. Yeah,
It only
so
allows for maximum 4 people, right?
yeah, but usually there's only 4 of us anymore.
Yeah, because Andria's.
Where? All right, I had to mute the tab. Sorry.
And I think we might get a better community interaction on vocal that than
Well,
we did with
people we
YouTube.
could do, and we could just bring people in Skype
Yeah,
that would go through me. They wouldn't be on the video, which is fine. So you can have as many people as you want. They would just go through me or one of you guys, and then we could leave one channel open. People could actually jump in and comment in the show.
so do we just create like a channel of vocal like behind
Yeah,
Iron Throne channel?
and Kente was actually him and I are. He's talking to the people that are putting it together, so he's supposed to get me their info, and they're interested in kind of working with some of the stuff that we do.
Awesome, I'm down with that.
Get down with the sickness. Yeah, but if you talk any shit about anything, like when you were talking last night, it ain't gonna work.
What shit?
By the way,
What
Julie,
shit was
I
talking about?
I did not hang up on you last night.
See, I told you he didn't.
She hung up on us.
No, I did.
Yeah.
I never touched
Your
it.
screen went away.
Yeah,
and
it
it was
did.
just down to me and Chris.
I never touched the button. I was sitting here, and Chris was like, and then he's like, "Wow, you're an idiot," and then all of a sudden he hung up.
We had a heated debate about Star Wars Trin yesterday.
I did not hang up on anyone. I
did.
promise you.
No, he didn't. He
I don't remember the end of the show.
said no.
You weren't
It was
even
this was
there.
after.
dude.
This
You
is
weren't
was
even
off air.
there.
Trin, this is when we stopped recording and like we just got
You
into
weren't
this
even there,
debate.
bro.
We got
I
this
gotta make
debate
it.
about The Last Jedi, and it was epic. And I told Chris we should be recording this and putting it as a bonus because it like I think we should just leave the record on all the time at this point.
No.
We had an epic
No.
debate. Me and Chris and Julie had this epic debate. Freaking hilarious! It was awesome.
Sign.
People used to send me hate mail for that, John.
Okay.
I don't remember. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes, I remember. Cares hate mail.
All right.
Hate mail just means
For
that.
heated debates?
Oh my God! I said one thing about Cersei Lannister, and like the Behind the Iron Throne people went fucking ape shit crazy.
When?
You're so horrible. You're so mean. You're such a bitch. And I was
Which
like,
one was
just
what did
calling
he
it
say?
like
again?
I see it. Damn, calm down, people.
When was that?
Oh, when we, way back when.
Oh. All right. So let me just get a couple things set up here. Winner takes the fall. Loser takes it all. Right in the beginning of the
Sound like that.
end. What?
You have weird feedback.
Oh, you're hearing the heater.
Okay.
Nothing I can do about that. All right, I got to give you the link. Hold on. Where's the freaking link? They changed how this works. Thank you so much, YouTube. All right, let's see. Command to copy.
Are we on?
Oh, we're on. We are on. I'm gonna give you the link unless you already have it.
No, and I'm not sure why it didn't pop up in my notification.
Bow, cow, cow. Let me see. Where is? Here we are. TNRT. Nope, that ain't right. Facebook. I hate Facebook. I hate it so much. If anyone's watching, let us know how it looks, please. Chat. Chit chat. Chitty chitty chit chat.
Chat, bang bang.
Command V. Okay, that's the link. If you guys can share it on all the places, while I do the mic check, if that's cool. I appreciate that very much. And it's snowing. All right, we might break this into 2 episodes, depending on how far we get, because there's 20 characters to talk about, and I don't want to record till 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a
shit.
lot.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we're going to be very passionate about our characters, John, especially when their last name is Stark. John, and
Why are you? Why do you?
I don't think
say
we should
this?
give him Stark characters. We
No,
know
no,
what's
no!
gonna
Stop
happen.
this.
Julie, do you see
Stop
the show
this,
notes?
okay?
Which episode?
201.
You're gonna be very impressed with me, Chris. Because one of the panels
highly
I'm on,
doubtful.
one of the panels I'm on, we're gonna be criticizing Ned Stark's parenting.
How are you going to criticize Ned Stark? Never mind. I don't even want to.
No, it's actually I could send you what the girl sent me. She wrote a really good essay. It's amazing.
Which wait, make sure. Oh yeah, we got to talk about Ice and Fire Con too.
No, Chris, I don't have it.
You don't have access to that
I mean, I'm in the Behind the Iron Throne.
under show
it-
notes, episode 201.
I see is audio intro,
No. that's not right.
R&D, and show art. That's all I see.
Okay. I spelled that wrong.
Most of these are we can get through pretty fast.
Yeah, you say that now.
I say we just pick like 10 or whatever and just go.
Yeah, we could do 10 and then 10 in 2 weeks.
Okay.
I don't mind.
No Starks.
Hold on. First things first. Is it posted on the Facebook page?
I posted on Facebook. I didn't do it on Behind Iron Throne.
I did Behind Iron Throne.
Okay,
All right. Is anything on BTIP?
The group page? No, not yet.
Okay.
I'll put on BTIT.
Okay.
Winner takes a fall. Loser takes it all. No, loser takes the fall. Winner
What are you
takes it
singing?
all. Something to the beginning of the end.
Bass.
Don't you remember that from Over the Top?
I do, but you were doing it bass backwards.
Well, whatever. They don't have that song on Apple Music. I had to rip it from YouTube and make my own song.
They don't have a lot of them.
I know. Commies.
Wow. Wow.
That reminds me of a Simpsons episode I was just watching today.
That's probably not something we should say right now.
It's okay. All right. Tell me when you guys are. In the meantime, Julie, give me a. Hold on. Don't give me anything yet. When you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die. Or you die. Daddy, would you like some sausage? Daddy, would you like some sausage?
Daddy, would you like some sausage? Daddy, would you like some sausage?
Okay, John, give me a mic check. Means that you're already singing about sausage.
Check, check, 1, 2. I love sausage.
Oh my
grief.
god.
Good grief. All right, Julie, mic check. Mic check me.
Mic check 1 2 1 2.
Mic check, 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 check. Train, give me a check, 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 check.
Check.
It's like a
check,
90s
check.
song. It's like,
Sibilance.
okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, I still don't have access
When you play
to
the
the
Game
note.
of Thrones, you win.
Okay, hold on.
When you play the
Can
Game
you guys
of
hear that
Thrones,
okay?
You win, or you
Yep.
die.
All right. See, this is the beauty about being live, is that people get to hang out and interact with us as we're doing this, and they can distract or add.
We got anybody watching?
Yes.
Yeah, a couple people.
What's up, people? We're back.
Whoever
It's been
you
a long
are,
time.
hello.
It's been a month, people. We're back.
Yeah, it's been a month. Yeah. Show notes, Julie. Episode 201. Winner takes it all.
Are we
Come
gonna
on.
do them in alphabetical order,
I was just gonna do it the way it was
In the list?
in the
Yeah.
list.
which is in alphabetical order?
Oh, it is? I
I
didn't even
think
do that
so.
on purpose. I'm telling you. Julie, at your Gmail.
Yeah.
I sent you access. Arya, Brienne, Cersei, Danny, Sir Davos, Euron, the Hound, Jaime Lannister, Jon Snow, Lord Varys, Sunday, Lysandra, Sam Tarly, Sansa Stark, Ser Jorah Theon, Tyrion, Grey Worm, and the Night King. Okay.
Did you forget someone or?
Did I forget someone? I don't think so. Those were all the ones that were on the list in the Twitter list that I found.
The Mountain.
The Mountain? I don't know if
Yeah.
he really counts as a living creature. He
Well,
wasn't in the
he's-
list. I didn't see him on the list. You want to add
Fair
him?
enough.
Then just
Fair
add him
enough.
somewhere.
Well, no, we don't really need to because I figure I know what I'm gonna say about the Mountain. So
What are you going to say about the Mountain? Don't say it. Don't say it now. Just wait.
I won't say it, but you everyone knows where I'm gonna go with the Mountain.
You can add it.
Bowl.
If you want
What
to
do you-
add it, just add it.
No, because it's okay. It'll come up with the Hound.
You are so... You're like, I should, but I shouldn't. So indecisive.
That's
Okay,
why you love me,
so-
Chris.
All right, so we are... You guys are ready? I'm just waiting for this heater to turn off, and then we're going to go, because I don't want the intro to sound like this, with all that in the background. Fucking aggravates me, and it's really hard, even with the gate limiter, to get that out. Very frustrating. I'd have to turn the gain way down, and then when I talk, I'd be like, hello, can you hear me? And it would sound like I'm whispering into your ear with the secrets of behind the Iron Throne.
Daddy, can you see me?
That's creepy.
Papa, can you hear me?
Papa, can you? That's what I was gonna go for from Deadpool 2. Papa, can you hear me?
I just watched that. I watched that last night after our
Me too. I was
argument.
watching it like Friday or something.
Yeah.
Like just clips of it.
Deadpool. Crazy mother effer. Love that movie. They better not ruin that.
They won't.
They will. They'll ruin everything.
No, they won't.
All right, let's see here. Oh, I meant to ask you, Julie, if you wanted to go to Ice and Fire Con.
We have a lot of room in our room.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have
There's
to. I have
8.
to think about it.
If you,
There's
yeah.
8 beds.
Hey, Mama Cheryl, if you wanted to go,
Mama Cheryl.
it's $60 for the ticket. Well, if you're coming, you'd have to go with me because I would drive.
100 now.
Oh
isn't it?
Christ, no! You're driving. No.
And we
It's
go
100 now, isn't it, Chris?
for the whole weekend,
It
but I'm
is.
not going until Friday, until Saturday.
Oh. Yeah,
I'm doing Saturday,
the
Sunday.
weekend.
So
Okay, coming down-
Saturday.
Are you driving down Friday night or are you gonna be here?
I will
Friday
be there
night?
Friday in the evening. Probably get there around 7 or 8.
One of these
So I
3
wasn't
days.
paying $100 to see like one thing before bedtime. I'll wait till y'all get done whatever you're doing, and we'll go out and eat, or I'll be in the gym, or I'll just be sitting in the room in the corner naked with a cheeseburger.
Wow.
think they have-
Please, no.
I don't think they have a gym though. I could
They
be
do
wrong.
have a gym. I already looked at it. If not, I'll bring my bands. One way or the other, I'm not missing exercise. I can't.
And we're gonna run in the morning.
And we're gonna
I'm
run in
probably
the
gonna
morning.
have a hangover, but that's okay because I'm gonna run.
We're gonna mention that real quick in the beginning, just so people have an idea, because we haven't talked about it in a while.
Yeah.
All right,
Hi,
so-
Biggie.
Big E's here,
Biggie.
yay! Okay, who's gonna watch the chat for me this evening? Who's gonna help me
I
with
got
that?
it.
Awesome. I was hoping because you have a great voice. Okay, I say we start. Let's do this because I got no noise. Here we go.
When you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die.
Warning, this podcast contains explicit language and spoilers. This is Behind the Iron Throne, your unofficial Game of Thrones podcast.
And 3, 2, 1. Well, hello. Welcome back to Behind the Iron Throne. This is episode 201, recorded March 3rd, 2019. I'm your host, Chris Gray, and I'm joined tonight by a gaggle, a group, a flock of amazing Game of Thrones fans. You guys have been listening for a long time. You know them, you love them. Let's start from my left to my right. We have the amazing, the talented, the Amazonian princess. She is a queen. She can talk to the dragons. Well, she whispers to them. It's the same damn thing. Just one is quieter than the other. She is gorgeous. She's like a pixie, and she's an awesome friend. She is Trin. What's up, Trin? Welcome to the show.
Thank you, thank you. Love being here. Love being with the fans and all of my Game of Thrones nerds. Love it.
If people don't believe they don't believe me that you're like an Amazon, that you're an amazing person, then they need to watch the live show. Facebook. Forget Facebook. It's BehindTheIronThrone.tv, and you can watch it live. You can get a notification if you like and subscribe to the channel. Please do. And of course, you go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/BehindTheIronThrone. We post a link there. But you can see us live, or you can watch episodes that we did live, and you can see what we look like, and you can say, man, that Chris guy, he is one ugly son of a bitch. Anyway, it's good to have you on the podcast. Let's look at another amazing human being. He's bald on the top of his head, but he's got hair everywhere else like a Sasquatch. He is the king of everything. He is the General Jonathan Stonemaw Starklover from the light north, not the deep, but the light north. Welcome to the show, John.
What's up, Chris? It's been a month long. We're back. You know, a lot of shit's happened, but we're here, and it's only one north, and I'm in it, okay? But I'm so happy we're back, Chris. I'm so excited for this episode.
Hashtag beards matter. I like your beard growing back in. Looks
I'm
good,
growing
buddy.
it back.
Yeah, you're looking good, my friend.
Thank you, man.
Next up, she's been on many different podcasts here at the Total Nerd Takeover Studio. She also has her own podcast that she was doing with my mom, although I think they're on hiatus. Maybe they're coming back. We don't know yet. If we get enough people to say, yo, get your podcast together, she'll record tomorrow. She is my sister, Julie. What's up, kid?
What's going on? It's good to be back. What's up? My beard is not growing in, by the way.
No beard for you, huh, kid?
No beard for me, no.
That's good. So, do we have any comments? I thought I saw some comments pop up.
Yes, we do. Biggie's with us tonight,
Yeah.
and he mentioned that the trailer might drop tomorrow in Good Morning America.
Wow.
And I said, no way. Like,
Good
is
Morning
that a
America.
thing? Yeah, is that a thing?
Man, they're going dark.
Is someone on
Yeah.
Good Morning? Is there an actor from Game of Thrones on Good Morning
I don't
America
even think anybody's
tomorrow?
gonna be able to get to Good Morning America because there's a freaking blizzard or something happening.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got a little
We
bit of
also
snow.
I don't know if they'll
have-
make it through Times Square.
Yeah. We also have Mama Cheryl in the chat.
Mama
She said,
Cheryl.
Mama Cheryl.
Hi, kids. She gave us the Spock signal, and then she said, oh, when you were talking about my Amazonianness, she said she can throw me over her shoulder with one swoop. I did this little trick the last time I was home, and I just picked my mom up and threw her over my shoulder.
Nice.
Anyway, we also have John Surback in
Yay.
the chat, and he said, Chris, looks like you've been putting in some time in the gym since the last time I joined you guys.
Yes, I have. Thank you.
Please
I
don't
lost some
feed his
weight.
ego.
Oh, my ego's already fed. Are you kidding me? I'm not going to be able to get
Fine.
out of the studio door. Yes, I did I've been putting in a lot of time at the gym. I've been working out for a year straight, 5 days a week, trying to watch my diet, trying to get back into shape. So yeah, thank you. I'm glad people notice finally, because no one ever says, hey, you're looking better. Especially my family, because they see me all the time. Julie.
You look fabulous.
Oh, thank you. I'm so fabulous.
So fabulous. Listen, I would tell you, here's the thing. I figure I'm gonna do exactly what you've done to me growing up, where you don't ever tell me good things. You just, man, you really look fat. Because I figure the more I dish you, the more you'll work harder.
That's
I
not
feel
exactly
like
what
it's
I've
reverse psychology.
That's not exactly
See-
how that's worked in the past. I wasn't that brutal.
I want to say that you look good, but you're a Lannister, and I'll just go right to your head. So I'd rather not. But you do look
Funny,
good.
it's-
But
he
know.
is a
Yes.
Targaryen, and it's
uh,
gone.
he's a Lannister, man. He's
No.
a
So speaking
Lannister.
speaking of the houses, Biggie did say that he saw on Twitter that Game of Thrones has an announcement tomorrow in Good Morning America. So
yeah, I'm
there will
pulling
be
it up. I'm
something.
seeing what's going on with GMA
on-
tomorrow.
Check their Twitter feed and see what's the deal.
I'm gonna check. I'm gonna check it.
We have had so far some scenes that they've shown us. Not a full trailer. We've gotten some teasers.
Yo, those teaser posters though.
Yeah.
Lit.
So we're actually going to save all that. Hopefully we get a little more. We're saving it for a future episode. But so we're not going to talk about that specifically tonight, just to let the fans know. But we
Yes.
will address all of that stuff in another episode before the premiere.
Yes, and in case anyone's wondering, we're basically prepping for season 8, and we're going to be talking about some of the characters that have survived, and where they're at, and maybe even where we think where they're going to go. And we got this. Well, I found this list. I think Twitter put out a list, right? That's where we got the pictures of each character. They had them sitting on the throne, and we were throwing around some characters, and these are the main characters we wanted to talk about for the show, and where they're going to end up going, or where they've come from. So, like I said, we're getting ready for season 8, and it's going to be a fun show. But before we get into the meat and potatoes of this podcast, I just have to say thank you to all the Thronies that signed up for Ice and Fire Con for 2019. If you have not signed up, please do so. Go over to iceandfirecon.com. The convention is between the 25th and the 28th of April 2019. Obviously, it's coming right up in Deer Creek Lodge, Mount Sterling, Ohio. You can buy tickets right now on the website, and if you didn't buy them before a couple days ago, they went up in price, at least the full, the entire weekend pass. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you have to pay $100 for. However, if you use our offer code, Thronies, I believe you get $5 off. So
yes,
that's something. Now, if you didn't procrastinate, then you only would have paid like $90 or $85. But shame on you. But if you go, it's okay.
That code is good for any time. So Thronies is the code, and she has a little spot in there.
Mm-hmm.
The promo code. Use it, and you get $5 off of every single ticket you buy.
Use it. Don't abuse it.
Come check us out.
Yeah, you may be saying, well, hey, what's going to happen at Ice and FireCon? Well, I can tell you this. There's a huge amount of stuff going on. John and Trin will be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And Thursday, you guys have some speaking engagements, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes. We're on a panel Thursday. I think John's on one Friday or Saturday, and then we're both on one on Sunday as well.
So don't miss that. And I believe we have a meet and greet on Saturday.
Yes.
Yep.
At 3 o'clock?
Yes.
Eastern time.
I will also. Yeah.
Ohio time. I don't know.
Ohio time, yeah.
It's the same time.
It should still be Eastern Standard.
Right before the cosplay. I'm holding my hands up. I don't even think people can see this.
Oh yeah, it's before the parade.
Before the parade. Oh, a parade. Mm-hmm. So I know that John and Trin will be there. I will be there Saturday. I'm getting there Friday evening. I am going to probably be in the gym if you want to find me Friday evening, if you want to work out with me.
Jesus Christ.
And then Saturday morning, Trin and I are going to run in the 5K.
Yes.
The Game of Thrones Ice and Fire 5K.
Why would you do that to yourselves?
I'm going to try to be hungover doing it.
Oh, I'm going to have to, when you fall over, am I going to have to carry you?
Okay.
I will not be doing the
faster
5K.
than you.
I was hoping you were going to fire carry me, for goodness sakes.
That's crazy.
But
I
yeah,
will not be doing the 5K.
You can go on roller skates.
Competing in the tourney. I will be competing in the tournament this year.
Yeah.
Jousting and melee. So you guys everyone's got to come.
I'll compete in the 5K if it's like 5K of like hamburgers and stuff.
Hamburger helper.
Yeah.
Do you have to sign up for the joust that day or pre?
No, you have to sign up in advance because it's going to fill up fast.
Okay, well, I didn't realize that. I might have to go see if I can sign up. I would love to joust you, you bald bastard.
You're gonna lose.
I believe they have the wolves back this year too, as well.
That's
They're
awesome.
gonna have the wolves from one of the I don't know, wolf rescues or
Iron Wolves.
one of
it's
those
called Iron
things.
Wolf something. I can't remember, but
Yeah.
I took a picture with it, guys. Check it out on my Facebook.
Yes, you can find John's Facebook, but just by typing in John King Dingaling, and it'll show up, or Duck Darian.
No, you don't. It's Jonathan Stomach's people. It's.
You should make that happen. You should get the domain name johnduckdarian.com. I'm telling you, we could have some fun with that. So make sure if you're going to Ice and Fire Con, we'd love to see you guys there. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're really looking forward to that. And there's a lot of other podcasters there, and a lot of adventures to be had.
All right, Chris. So I think I'm reading this right.
Mm-hmm.
There's a possibility that Maisie Williams and Sophia Turner might potentially be on GMA tomorrow morning. They're about to appear in the UK cover of Glamour, how they talk about their friendship and everything, and how Maisie's going to be a bridesmaid for Sophia and Joe Jonas's wedding. And they talk about how people mistake them for a married couple, which is weird. So it's a possibility that the two of them are on tomorrow morning on GMA. I don't have it's not affirmed, but I'm trying to find out. But it looks like one or both of them are on tomorrow.
All right, cool. Why do I hear myself back? No, I don't hear myself anymore. Ollie, thank you for the comment. That is serious soundproofing in here, and this is only part of it. So I still got a lot more to get done and get going on. Let's see. Where are we here? Okay, so let's get into our characters. Shall we? Are you guys ready to talk about characters?
I'm down.
Absolutely.
Let's do this.
We're doing this alphabetically just so people aren't like, oh, how'd you guys pick the characters and whatnot. We have a list of the main characters who we basically took the list from Twitter that Game of Thrones put out all the emojis for, and we are using that list to go by. So we're going to discuss.
Are we going alphabetical by last name or first name?
First name.
Oh, Christ. We're screwed off the top here. We might as well just let John start the first part of the show.
John should have just started the whole podcast, right?
Jesus Christ. Just let John talk for the next 20 minutes. We'll just sit here.
All right. So let's start with Arya Stark. I'm going to let Trin lead with Arya Stark.
Okay. So Arya's been with us since the very first episode, and she's had quite a journey as far as coming in and going all these different places. One thing to note about her character specifically is that I don't think she's going to die because, well, in the show, there could be differences, but in the books, she's never going to get killed off because, well, I think George R.R. Martin's wife, Paris, has said publicly that she would divorce him if he killed off Arya. So she's going to make it to the end. That is pretty much what we already know. And
she's a badass.
I don't know exactly what they're going to do with her storyline. I still kind of think she's going to be responsible for Cersei's death, but we'll see.
I'm hoping they don't do that, honestly. I'm actually kind of hoping that it's Jaime that does it or a dragon. Big E just said Arya and Drogon besties. That would be pretty funny to see.
Oh, yeah, because of the clip that when she first saw him flying. Really cool.
That's going to be an interesting scene when Dany shows up with her dragons, and there's Arya looking at. I mean, I'm really looking forward to seeing all the Starks together. As much as I loathe the Starks lately. Julie, what do you think about Arya? Where she's come from, where she's going? What are your thoughts on her?
Well, I mean, you think about it. You know, we started her journey when she was very small, very young, and we've watched her develop into, you know, a couple of different aspects of herself. You know, we've seen her go from timid and shy to, you know, learning how to spar, you know, and then we see her go into, you know, a bubble, a very personal shell of herself, you know, and she now has a vendetta and she's out for revenge and blood, but she doesn't know how to do it. And then we watch this journey of her trying to get to, what was it, Essos, right? We see her trying to get, you know, over there to the faceless men, and, you know, and then we watched that entire journey of her go through, you know, training that, and the fact that she had to like take the buckets of water, and she kind of felt, you know, this was beneath her. She just wanted to learn how to kill people, but she had to learn how to humble herself, which is odd when you're trying to learn how to kill people. Humble yourself first. That's very important. You know, and then,
you gotta become nobody. Was what I took away from that.
And I think, you know, to see where she was at the end of last season, you know, she had already begun her crusade to get vendetta against, each person on her list. And I think that the more we watch as she developed this whole time over these for us 8 years, but for them much longer period, obviously, given the, the circumstances of the timeline, to see her start the hit list, so to speak. I feel like, and I agree with Trent, I don't think she is going to die. I think she's going to exact her revenge. She's going to do exactly what she has set out to do. I don't know if she'll get Cersei. I think that's the prize. I think that's what she really, really wants. And I think now that she is with her sister, and her sister can explain to her what Cersei did to her while she was prisoner in that castle, I think it's just going to make Arya even more pissed off. And I think that ultimately for her, it's going to be all or nothing to get Cersei. I still think that for me, my absolute favorite scene, like sequence of events, was in, when it looks like from our perspective as we're watching it, that the two don't trust each other when Arya comes back. And what we don't realize, because they fooled us, hopefully everybody's watched it up to this point, no spoilers or anything. Sorry, spoiler alert. And then to find them, joining forces to turn it back on Darth Baelish. I call him Darth Baelish in case everybody doesn't remember. I call Peter Baelish Darth Baelish. To turn it back around on him and to watch him grovel for his life. I was that's justification. So now she has an even more powerful adversary. So to feel Arya grow, into this aspect of herself that she is now, she's cold-blooded. Like, she sliced his throat with no F's given.
That was a bad way for Baelish to go out, honestly. I think that was such a bitch-ass way. He's an awesome character, and we got rid of another villain, but he should have died epically. I mean, that was it was pretty interesting, but seeing him...
I don't disagree with that.
Seeing him grovel kind of aggravated me.
I still think the part that I loved was the fact that Arya just walked up behind him and just went slit, like no.
Yeah, that's true.
Just bam, so cold-blooded.
We've seen Arya from this little child to now a young adult, and her journey has been, wow, one of the most vast changes, I think, of a character.
I think her journey is my favorite so far of all the characters.
It's a good journey. I'm curious to see
of all the Starks.
I'm curious to hear what you think about this, John. Here it comes.
Arya. So I agree with everyone what everyone says. Arya went from this like curious, shy girl to becoming like a true badass, like who's gonna protect her family, which I love. I think she'll kill Cersei, probably using Jaime's face, which will make me really happy. Arya she holds a special place in my heart because my niece is named Arya, so and I love my niece, so there's that. I'm trying not to get too excited here because I love.
John, you can be excited. That's what people love about you on the show.
I agree. She's not going to die. She's not going to die. She's going to live. She's going to. I've always said she's going to take over one of the territory, like one of the kingdoms. But more than I think she's going to be Kingsguard for Jon when it's all said and done. Because I think she's really the way she protected Sansa, the way she's protecting her family. I wouldn't be surprised if she's Kingsguard to Jon when it's all said and done. I also believe that her former teacher, mentor, trainer, Sirio Farrell, aka Jaqen H'ghar, is going to make appearance in season 8. I'm still holding out on that, but
Wait a minute, you would reduce her to just a Kingsguard?
I think she's going to be a Kingsguard for Jon. I don't think she has any intention on. She's not going to marry anyone. I mean, that's not in her to marry. And I don't think she's going to be that type of person to take over one of the kingdoms that's Jon's going to have to put people in. I think she's going to be a Kingsguard. I think she's going to stay in Winter. She left Winterfell. And I think she, along with Sansa, realized it was a mistake to leave Winterfell. I think she's going to stay in Winterfell when it's all said and done and just be the Kingsguard to Jon.
I see where you're going with that because I can understand. Because she said, she wasn't a lady. She wanted to be a knight. Like she wanted to grow up and be a knight. I don't know. Like I kind of agree with Julie as well. Like I wouldn't reduce her to Kingsguard because
It's not really
I don't see
a
her
reduce.
actually fitting into a Kingsguard
She's an
position.
assassin.
John, though.
Because she's not a knight. She's an assassin.
But
It's
also,
very different.
once that list is done, which is almost done. I mean, almost everyone on that list is pretty much gone, right? There's Sandor, there's the Hound left, there's the Mountain, there's Cersei, there's Jaime. There's by the end of all
Pain
this, everyone,
is what I want to see.
everyone's gonna be all of her list is gonna be pretty much dead. I mean, she is a badass. I mean, she killed the phrase. That's still my favorite, one of my all-time favorite when she killed the phrase.
Which were not on her list, if I remember correctly.
No, but that was
No, they
revenge for
Yeah.
Yeah, but they
that was
weren't on her
revenge for
list.
the Red Wedding, though. Maybe it was. I don't know. Anyways,
She's an
No, they weren't on
assassin.
her
She's
list,
not
but
Kingsguard.
yeah.
but when there's no one else to assassin, she's going to protect.
There's always going to
Her
be
family-
somebody to
John-
assassin.
John.
She protected Sansa. I think she's gonna protect Jon. I think she's gonna be. And Kingsguard's not a demotion if you think about it. Jaime Lannister is the heir apparent to Tywin Lannister, and he was the Kingsguard. A lot. Arthur Dayne,
And he
the
lost his
greatest-
hand.
And Arthur Dayne, the greatest swordsman ever, was a Kingsguard. I mean, it's not. You can't just sit and say that Kingsguard is this demotion. It's
No.
an honor.
I'm
to be a
saying no.
Kingsguard.
Wait. You misunderstand. I'm not saying the Kingsguard is not a regal position, but what I'm saying is, why would you reduce Arya to that role? She is a very clear, developed character into an assassin. So why would you diss her like that and put her in a role she's not meant to be in?
You
I'm
can
not disrespecting Kingsguards at all.
But you can still be a Kingsguard, and then if you have to do your assassinations to protect Jon, you're gonna do your assassinations. I'm not saying that she's not. I'm just saying her main role after all of this is going to protect her family, whether it be Jon.
She's gonna do that no matter
She's gonna protect
what.
Jon. She's gonna protect. I'm just saying, like she's just gonna be like one of the top guards. I think she's gonna be like the head guard. I don't know what you call it. Is it the head lord? Whatever you call it. She's gonna be the top commander of the of King of Jon's thing, along with Brienne, because I think Brienne's gonna live. It's me. Her and Brienne is gonna protect Jon, Sansa.
You're very optimistic. There's a lot of the characters are going to live.
And
His
Jon
happy
Kingsguard.
ending.
And Jon's
Yeah.
twins.
Wait. If anybody's going to be a Kingsguard, it's going to be Brienne of Tarth. That's going to be your Kingsguard.
Yeah, she's been Kingsguard before.
Not Arya.
Arya's gonna protect. She's not leaving Winterfell. She's gonna stay and she's gonna protect her family. That's what I think. I think she's gonna stay and protect. Not necessarily. She could be a Kingsguard. I'm just saying she's gonna be protecting her family, whether it be a Kingsguard or whether it be they don't have Kingsguard in the north or whatever. She's just gonna be there.
So she's going to
protecting
be
her
a
family.
protector, right?
She's gonna be a protector because I don't think
Okay.
I think she realized along with Sansa, we left Winterfell and we realized it was a mistake, and now we're gonna stay in Winterfell when it's all said and done.
So in the comments, we've
Lots.
got Ollie. Yeah, lots of comments with this one. Ollie says, I'd love to see Arya showcase more of her melee capabilities, given how nimble she was when she was training with
she's-
Brienne of Tarth.
She's
That
gonna
was an
kill.
awesome scene.
She's gonna kill some freaking White Walkers. You tell her with that dagger, and probably if she gets her hands on a.
Well, the dagger better be dragon glass or else she ain't going to do
It's
shit.
Valyrian steel dagger.
Yeah, she does
so
have the
it is-
Valyrian.
Oh, that's
it
right.
is
Cat's paw
steel,
one.
so-
John Serbeck says maybe a faceless man stood in for Peter Baelish's death, just like Ned's.
Oh, come on. Another one of these theories.
Yes.
Poor Ned is
they're-
dead.
These
he
people-
lost his
I think-
head.
Alyssa likes your comment, John. She said, "Oh my God, yes, John's Kingsguard. Love that."
Why
and then
y'all
John
wanna
Serbeck said that
reduce
he was
Arya
kidding.
to something like, come on. Arya, she's badass.
Biggie makes a great point. He says people can change as they grow older. So is Arya, she could marry if she fell in love.
Yeah,
If
that's
she's
true.
gonna marry. It's
Possible.
Gonna be Gendry. If she's gonna marry Gendry and take over as like with Storm's End.
The
If
only
anything-
reason I
if
would
she's
He is,
gonna
not allowed,
marry
he is not allowed to talk
Gendry-
about Starks anymore. This,
No.
this
Yeah.
is
Gendry's
Gendry
going to
about
marry
Starks.
Sansa.
She's
I
gonna
don't-
marry
I don't-
Gendry and then move to
Gendry?
Storm's End.
We'll
only
get to
because they
Gendry
have
later.
a background. They
Yeah,
have a,
they have a
very
background.
clear background together.
Because
I could see where you would come up with
John's-
that.
John is going to have to he's gonna have to assign people to these kingdoms and houses. Like he's gonna have to find someone to rule the Eyrie. He's gonna have to find someone to rule Castle Rock. the Stormlands.
Yep.
He's gonna find all these people to rule. So he's probably gonna. Put
That's if
people
we
to-
survive. That's if they survive
John is
this.
surviving. Damn it.
Okay.
John is.
Hold
I
on,
don't wanna get into John right now.
hold on. Let
So
Trin
John.
finish the comments, everyone, please. Let's get back on the rails.
John Serbeck says that he agrees with John's point of view on Arya being a Kingsguard because John rules from the Iron Throne with Arya as his #1 Kingsguard, while Sansa rules the Ashes of Winterfell.
That's funny.
And then Ollie says Arya's reaction at the jousting event in season 1 when the mountain's lance broke off in his opponent's throat was not shying away in terror. Kind of revealed her mental composition, which he has got a great point about that.
Yeah.
Because Sansa was terrified and wanted to cry, and Arya was like, ah. And then he also says Arya could be a kind guard, do her duty just like Ned taught her to. And then Ollie said, that she looked on with enthusiastic fascination when the mountain's lance broke off in the guy's throat. And then Ollie says Arya versus some White Walker could be the most entertaining. Would be like River versus the Reavers in Serenity. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
And Alyssa says John will rule in Winterfell. I don't see him in King's Landing.
No, he's gonna rule.
Yeah, but his woman's gonna be. He's gonna want to be with his woman.
His woman's dying.
His woman is not dying.
We haven't gotten to her yet. Okay?
Yeah, we're not
We
there
haven't
yet.
gotten to her.
So let's finish with Arya. Are we done with Arya then?
Somebody's the
Have
hater.
we?
I think so.
Have we
yeah.
beat that one to death?
We have.
So I'm saying that I'm just going to say that I think Arya is going to end up. I don't think she's going to live. I want to see her live. I have a feeling that 90% of the characters are going to die. Bittersweet ending. It's going to be a bittersweet ending.
It better not be. It better not be like The Sopranos, or else I'm gonna be so pissed
Right?
off.
All right, let's
Like,
talk
I'm gonna
about.
be lit pissed.
Let's talk about one of my most hated characters in the Game of Thrones these days, Brandon Stark. Bran Stark. I cannot stand this creeper. He is the knower of all things, the rider of his. We're going to call him Brandon Wheels. That's going to be his nickname, Wheels.
Dude, that's not right, dude.
I cannot
That's not
stand him.
right.
I cannot stand him.
Poor
you
kid
know,
can't use his legs. Okay, that's not right.
but he's got like the knowledge of the universe or some shit. He's a totally different character. And I almost don't like him as much as I didn't like the Dream Creeper. Brandon's like the new Dream Creeper. He's creeping on people, and I loved how you looked on your wedding day. Oh, what? What? You creeper!
turn it off,
You
man.
creeping son of a bitch!
He can't
guys
help
can't
that he
turn
can
it
see
off.
that stuff.
You
He
can't
can't.
turn
Right,
it
he can't
off.
turn it off.
I think that you can pick and choose what you see.
I don't think you can though.
I don't.
I don't think you can. Trust me.
I wonder
I'm
what
sure
he sees
doesn't
you
wanna
doing,
see,
John.
like the Mount Chicka Wow Wows. Okay.
He
So
kind of can because he can kind of hone in.
That's
'cause
what I
that
thought, too.
very last episode
Yeah.
of season 7 when because I just rewatched season 7 and Samwell comes in and says, "Oh yeah, we found out about the marriage and the annulment. Can you see that?" And he goes, "I think so," and then goes into the flashback. And he's standing
So-
there.
But I'm kind of worried that I'm kind of worried that he can't. He hasn't really been. He didn't really get a chance to get taught all the stuff that he should know about him being the three-eyed raven.
Trish is in the chat. Yay!
Trish.
Make sure we're make sure we're
Trish
behaved,
the dish.
so we don't get fired.
So
She'll fire
Brand.
me.
Trish the dish.
Biggie just said, if you think the story has a happy ending, you haven't been paying attention. Ramsey
oh,
Bolton.
crap, I keep hearing
Yeah,
that.
well, I mean.
Well,
think
you're
about
gonna hear it because
Trish-
it's true.
Can I
So
say
okay,
something
let's
about
go back.
Bran
Let's
here?
go back to Bran. Can we go back to Bran?
Can I say something about Bran here?
You
Oh,
say
Christ,
something about
yes.
Bran.
Bran's the second most important character after Jon Snow that's gonna help defeat this war. I said this before in this podcast. You guys know this. I don't think Julie knows this because she hasn't been on the podcast. But I've always said, defeat the Night's King. You have to defeat him on two fronts. You have to defeat him in the physical world, which is what Jon will do, and you have to defeat him in his mind.
In the Matrix.
And I think that's what Bran is gonna do. Bran's gonna fight the Night's King in his mind. You know, they're gonna fight in the mind, and then they're gonna kill them both, and then Bran is going to go away and go to that tree in the north,
You
in the
people,
behind the wall.
if
Okay.
you're listening
Also-
to this podcast, you have to tune in live just to see Julie's
Also-
face.
Also,
When Jon is
Bran
shocking.
Bran is also gonna play another key role because he knows he's gonna be able to, and I'm hoping we're gonna flashback. He's gonna be able to flash back to the original. He's gonna be able to have so much knowledge because he can just recall stuff, and I think that's gonna help the John and the good guys fight, because he's gonna just be like, okay, this is what happened way back when. I think we'll get a flashback. I'm hoping. We didn't get one. We got one last season, the little one near the end. I think we're gonna get another one, so I see that happening too. But Bran's gonna play a big role, and I also think Bran will war into one of the dragons too. So Bran's a secret badass. I'm sorry, he's gonna he may be crippled, but he's gonna do a lot for those guys.
2 comments real quick. One, Alyssa asked where Andria's been. Andria's been taking a little bit of a break, but we should be getting her back hopefully before season 8 starts. I gotta, get a hold of her and get her back here. She's just taking a break. It happens. Podcasting can wear and tear on you a little bit, and she's been really busy with her job. But she does send her love to all of our thronies. Hashtag loves the thronies, and to John. Besides, I hate to say that I partially agree with you here. He is a very important character in terms of what's going to happen with the Night King. I don't know if we're going to have a battle of the minds. I mean, I don't think we're going to go into the like the Professor X. Like,
I think he will.
Hold on, let me get Cerebro. It's made out of the weirwoods. Hold on, I'm going to put this shit on my head. But I don't have a problem with him being crippled. That's not the problem I have with him. The problem I have with this character is that he's like, I don't know, he's so cold. He's not Bran anymore. He is this superhuman. He's like the supercomputer of Game of Thrones. He knows all these different things. He can see all these different things. Yet I have not heard him give any really good answers since he wheeled his ass back into Winterfell.
I mean, he discovered Peter Baelish's plot. Like, he was like, you were there. You held a knife to Ned. He did that.
Oh, that's a good point. All right, touche.
Also,
Rabbit could have found out that plot storyline.
Can I finish what I'm saying? Thank you.
Jesus Christ.
Also, look the last time he interacted with the Night's King in his mind. The Night's King was able to break the barrier, go in, and then we saw what happened to Hodor. God rest his soul. He died heroically, but I honestly believe he was there. He's got it, because we kept saying like, I'm the only one. Like, I can't remember what season 1 is. Like, no one could stop him. Only we can. I can, or something like that. I can't remember what scene that was. But he kept saying like, I'm the only one who could stop what's coming. I think it's gonna be in his mind. I think I think the Night King has a lot of mind powers as well, and I think there's going to be a lot of mind play as well as the physical.
Okay.
I kind of.
And he's gonna ward into a dragon. Like, I still think he's warding into a dragon. One of those dragons.
Into the ice dragon that was predicted by Trish?
No, I think he's warding.
Remember that?
We're still pushing the ice dragon.
It's happened. It's happened.
It's not an ice dragon. It's a white dragon.
We're saying ice dragon.
It's a white dragon. Anyways, no, because there's 2 dragons, right? So Daenerys will ride Drogon, and there'll be another one, and I think Bran's gonna ward into that one. Because you can't just ride I don't think anyone. I mean, Jon could technically ride a dragon because he's half Targaryen, but you're not just gonna go ride a dragon. I mean, you could.
Dany can ride the dragon.
Yeah, but it took her time. She had to practice.
Jon already rode the dragon.
They're her babies.
Remember, he rode the dragon in the boat.
Okay, I mean, come
on. Chris
said. In the comments.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Hit the comments, Trin.
So Chrissy says,
rode the dragon in the boat. I can't.
That's not what Chrissy says, but
that's what Chris says.
Bran was our first POV point of view chapters. I'm sure she's referring to the books, and he will be the last. He will see how it was done the last time, referring to the Night King, and with a deal, meaning that there was some sort of deal struck. And she says that Jon will take the Night King's place in her opinion.
I can get behind that.
I hate that. But to piggyback off that.
Of course you hate it.
Okay, to piggyback off what she said about going back in the past, let's not forget they're gonna need Lightbringer. They're gonna have to get Lightbringer.
Do they really need it?
Yes,
Where
they
is
do.
Lightbringer?
They have to forge it maybe, and no one knows because no one knows anything about Lightbringer. They only know the stories that's been told, and the stories are not like 100%.
How many episodes
So-
are season 8, John?
6 episodes.
It's never
How many?
gonna happen.
6?
Well,
It
it's
takes
been
one
referred to
flashback.
by Melisandre.
It takes one flashback.
But it's never
like,
been
okay.
touched back
Oh my
upon
God.
since.
Exactly.
Hold on, it's never been. We haven't heard anything really about Lightbringer since.
Season 2.
Yep, since
Two, yeah.
Stannis pulled the flaming sword of bullshit out of the sand. Remember?
But but that whole situation was she was saying that Stannis was Azor Ahai, reborn and whatnot. And then she changed her tune up in the wall and said, now Jon is Azor Ahai. And she didn't bring up Lightbringer again. So I don't know
so
how
we
they
don't
would
even know
introduce
if Lightbringer is legit.
I think
We
it's a
don't even
person.
know. I think it's a person too. I don't think it's an object. I
But-
don't think it is a sword.
But Bran will be able to tell us who it is, right? Because he's a knower of all things.
Not necessarily though.
Well, Julie, you haven't said anything about Bran, so let's hear what you think about.
I don't really think I want to say anything about Bran. I mean, listen, I felt bad for the kid when, obviously
Yeah, I
the
think
very
everybody
first
did.
thing we deal with in the first season is he watches Cersei and Jaime get their bow chicka wow wow on, which is a little awkward, and then he's all like, crap, they see me. And then, Jaime, like a dick, pushes him out the window, and like everybody hates Jaime for that. And then he goes on this journey that takes him, like 45 fucking years to get to the tree that he's supposed to get to. I'm not fully, I mean, I've read the books. I've done, a lot of the research when it comes to the Three-Eyed Raven and stuff like that. I don't even still understand all the capabilities that the Three-Eyed Raven can do. I don't know, like Trin and I were saying, we don't know if he can turn it off, turn it back on. Was he I don't think he had enough time to be taught all of the things that he needed. Like he wasn't his apprentice very long to learn all the things that he needed to learn. So
Well,
I don't
really-
know. Go ahead,
Really
Trin.
quick, was the original Three-Eyed Raven taught anything? Like, who was his?
Yeah, we don't know.
Or
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we
don't
don't
even know, to be honest. So I mean, but I think like when he was there with him for a time, he told him some stuff, but he didn't exactly, like, he just let him go in and out of this stasis period where he travels back into the beyond of what had already happened, and then he comes out of it, and then all of a sudden they got to run from the White Walkers and Hodor dying and everything. I think Bran has significance in the storyline, or else why keep him alive this whole time? Get him to the end just for what purpose? To just kill him?
right.
I can't predict what potentially could happen with Bran. I have a feeling that as soon as Jon does arrive, Jon's about to get a whole mess of shit, and he's just gonna be like, well, I don't even know how they're gonna weave all that into to him telling Jon. Is Jon gonna believe him? I think he's just gonna be thrilled to see Bran, is alive. So I don't know. It's.
Yeah, but that's going to be very awkward. Like, John's going to be like, hey, Bran, how are you? And Bran's going to be like, hi,
I need
John.
you to come to the tree with me.
I
need
have to tell you
explain
a
stuff to you."
secret. Like, I
Well-
have no emotion.
Yeah, well, I think that's another thing. I think, I don't know about the whole if he's going to warg into a dragon thing. I think that's far-fetched in my opinion. I think if anything, he's probably going to try to
Ooh.
mind control maybe the Night King, somehow try to figure something out. If anything, if he wargs into the dragon, it's going to be the one that died and they brought back to life.
The ice dragon.
The ice dragon, which technically, Trish was right. Just not, it wasn't in the wall. It was.
I'm the one that thought it was in the wall.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Sorry, Trish. Love you. So I don't know. I don't know what to expect with Bran. I can't say he's one of my favorite characters. His whole journey was being pulled around in a wagon. There wasn't much story development with him until we got to season 6 and 7. I don't know. I don't know what to expect from it. I really don't.
I agree with a lot of what John's saying, that he's a very important character, and I think that because he has these powers, I mean, it's obvious that he's going to play some kind of important role. However, I think it would be kind of funny if like he gets a stray arrow in the head and it's like the mystical prophet that had the answers is gone, and we have and the only one
Zigzag pattern.
and the and the only one left with answers would be Sam.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen, but I do think that
Speaking-
Bran is important. And real quick, Chrisick, I think is how it says, is it possession? Did the three-eyed crow / blood raven download himself into Bran? That could explain a lot of the coldness.
Yeah.
It could.
Yeah,
It
like the
could, yeah.
personality
Yeah.
change. Absolutely. I think that's
I can get behind that.
what a really brilliant theory of
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
having, like, I think it's a great.
Kind of like the whole, like, you know, with Harry Potter, where Voldemort, every time he did the killing curse, a piece of his soul was pushed into an object, right? And without realizing it, he made Harry one of his Horcruxes. It's possible in a sense. It's
John
kind
has
of
no
like
idea
that.
what you're talking about.
Kind of like
Stay
that.
on topic with the guy
When
that-
it comes to, you know, maybe the three-eyed raven. The three-eyed raven knew that the White Walkers were coming. He was going to die, but he tried to latch himself onto whatever was living, and maybe he did latch himself into Bran, which would make sense as to why Bran isn't necessarily, you know, Chris is right. He's very cold. He's very different. He's not the same Bran that he was before they went into that little hut or mountain or wherever the hell that thing.
And why is it, and thank you for subscribing, John. Thumbs up. Why is it that whenever someone becomes really intelligent or like a super intelligent or they have some kind of ability to look into the past or something, why is it these characters always revert to like a really cold state or almost robotic? Just because they have knowledge, like that is such a bullshit trope in shows and movies and in fantasy. I cannot stand that. He can still be the same guy, for God's sakes. You know, if I get smarter, I'm still going to like things like ice cream and people and want to hold people and kiss them and hug them. I don't think that's going to change anything just because I'm smart. It's crazy. I hate that shit. Anyway, and by the way, John, making references from Harry Potter to Game of Thrones works because most of our audience have watched both. Just
Fair
not
enough,
you.
fair enough,
Just
fair
not
enough,
you.
Fair enough.
But we love you, John. You're all right. So,
It's
any
debatable.
final thoughts on Bran before we move on? Trent, anything you wanted to say about
think
Bran?
I'm really interested to see what else Bran has to say because he knows all the secrets. So whenever he opens his mouth, which is kind of rare, he doesn't talk a lot. Like they didn't give him a whole lot of speaking parts, but when he did speak, it was very impactful. So he's going to know everybody's secrets. There's no hiding anything, as creepy as that is. It will be interesting to see what he says.
I think he's just gonna come out right out with everyone in the Winterfell meeting room that John is Aegon's, Rhaegar's kid.
Dude,
And
he's
then
not going to drop that in front of everybody.
Sam is gonna confirm it to everyone, being like, yeah, I saw that there was an annulment and stuff, and then they got
Yeah,
married.
I think it's going
have
to
a
be
feeling-
private.
Dude, that's
Well,
definitely not gonna
private
be
first,
public, bro.
then private,
True.
then he's gonna say it in public because everyone has to know that everyone
John,
has
you
to
have a
know-
good point.
No. Are you
People
kidding
have
me?
to
No,
know
that's
that
a horrible
John
point.
has to be.
No, I
because
think
John
it's a good
has-
point, though. Think about it. Well, hold on. I'm gonna defend you here, John. Okay, everyone, write this shit down. I'm actually gonna defend John. We have 6 episodes. We don't have a lot of time to waste on like backdoor bullshit politics. So this could be a scene where they kind of kill 3 birds with one stone, or a 3-eyed raven with one corncob. All right, it didn't work. It sounded funnier in my head. But the point is like everyone shows up. There's a big meeting of the minds in that hall, and everyone's like, "Okay, John's back, yay!" And then Bran rolls out, squeaky, 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 and he says, "Boo!" And now everyone knows. And then Sam comes and says, "Up, here's the information I found at the Citadel that solidifies it." Okay, everyone's like, "Wow, holy shit!" We're in shock. Scene over, and then moving on to the next reunion. The next group of character, or whatever. That way they can nail it and then move on. My biggest fear with all the stuff that's going to happen is with only 6 episodes, even though they're longer, I think that they're going to rush a lot of stuff, and we're going to lose a little bit of quality there.
Can I say why?
Yeah.
It's important for
Wait.
everyone
Hold
to
up,
know?
hold up. Let's
Can I
time out.
say?
Did you say no? Listen, time out. Let me explain why that is a horrible idea. Because if you come out in that room and say that John is really a Targaryen while he was just deemed the king of the fucking North, he loses all credibility with the entire North. Nobody's going to want to follow his ass.
I disagree, and I'll tell you why.
Oh, come on.
Here's why.
That's a good point,
The reason I think is a good point, but here's why. He's Lyanna's kid, so there is some Stark blood in him. Second, here's what's gonna happen. I think what's gonna happen is everyone's gonna be in the room. There's a lot of ego in that room. Jaime's probably gonna be there. You got Dany, Tyrion. Everyone's gonna have an opinion on what's gonna do. Jon needs to take command and be the sole leader of this defense force against he's got to be the guy because he knows more about. He's got to be the guy to take over. But I think everyone's gonna have their opinion, and I think what's gonna happen is Brandon and Sam is gonna be like, hey, listen, he should be it because he's the rightful king. He's the heir. He's Rhaegar's kid. I saw the Alamo papers, everything. He's the rightful king, and I think that is what's because everyone's gonna have an opinion. Tyrion's gonna have an opinion. Dany will have. Everyone's gonna have an opinion. Jon's got to be the one to lead.
So you're saying that Jaime Lannister is now in Winter. This is what you're saying.
He's
John.
Heading towards Winterfell.
Hold on.
We don't know the
This
time
is
difference.
what you're saying. You're saying that Jaime Lannister is going to be in the room with Tyrion. Okay, they're arch rivals. The Lannisters absolutely fucking hate the Starks, right? And you're going to sit there and say that Bran is going to wheel his ass into that room and announce to his nemesis that he is really a Targaryen.
Yes.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Jamie, and I'll say this
and
right
you
now
don't
about
think
Jamie.
that Jamie is going to get on his fucking horse and go back to Cersei and
No, he
let her
won't.
know?
Jamie made a choice. No, you're not honest. Jamie made a choice. He left Cersei. He totally went against Cersei. Even Cersei had the mountain ready to cut him down. He left
He
Cersei.
made a choice to go
Hold on.
help them.
Let him finish.
Because
Julie,
of the
let him
White
finish.
Walker.
Jamie
Not
is
because of
is
blind
choosing.
loyalty.
Oh my God. Jamie is choosing to fight the White Walkers. He's going to go to Winterfell. That's where he was headed. He sent the we all we know is Cersei never got back to the army. The army could also be on his way to
But John,
to
you don't
Winterfell.
seriously think that if Jaime Lannister is in the room when Bran announces, hey, Jon Snow, who we just deemed the king of the fucking North, is actually a Targaryen. You don't think that Jaime's going to be like, well, fuck y'all, I'm out. I'm going back to Cersei to let her know what's going on.
No, he won't because he
would definitely
he
do it
turned
at the
his
drop of
back.
a hat.
No, he turned his
Come
back on Cersei. And there's bigger things than kings. Jamie knows there's a bigger thing than being king of Westeros. The freaking White Walkers are coming. Everyone.
He's going to
it's
do
a
whatever
bigger-
he can
No.
to give the Lannisters back their name.
much as I
He's
hate
just like
Jamie-
his sister.
This
much
is
as I hate
amazing.
Jamie-
This
as
is
much
amazing
as I
that.
hate Jamie. As much as I
All right, I just muted you guys so no one can hear you. They can only hear my voice. I think it's amazing that John is actually defending Jamie for a change. Now, I'm going to unmute my co-hosts who have gotten a little passionate. We're going to get back on the rails and get the show back on the road. Because there's a couple comments that I thought were interesting here that the Trent could read. So I'm going to unmute, and we're going to get back on the rails.
So,
All right, we're back.
all right. Am I back on? Okay. Let's see. Really good one was that Big E said that he's looking forward to Bran and Jaime's reunion. That in and of itself, because they haven't seen each other since he pushed him out the window, was awesome. Alyssa says that Jaime knows he has to help the North. He knows that that's being with the Starks. And then Chrissy K says Bran ran Winterfell for a bit, and he knows how the Northerners are. Remember when he was with Maester Luwin? I don't think Bran will out him in front of the Northerners. And then Biggie also says that Sam won't let Bran to say the Jon true heritage in front of everybody. So I think Sam will stop Bran, or I think that's what Biggie's saying is that Sam will stop Bran or wouldn't let him do that in front of everybody.
I think that what Big E says is funny that John and Chris are not, thank God we're not show writers.
Yeah, he
That's
says
pretty
that
funny.
he's glad that John and Chris aren't show
All
writers.
right, I think we're going to move on to the
Yeah.
next person. Okay, guys. I appreciate your passion, but let each other talk. All right, let's talk. Oh, God.
Brienne of Tarth is our next.
All right, because I thought for some reason I jumped ahead one, and I thought, oh, shit, here we go again. Brienne of Tarth. Let's talk about Brienne of Tarth. I'm gonna let Julie. You start with Brienne of Tarth.
I love Brienne. She is probably one of my favorite characters. And that's for a number of different reasons. number one, it's nice to see a character like her, in a show like this, who is very, I don't want to say underrated, but people don't necessarily think, like, they don't know what they're seeing. They don't know what they're getting when they first look at her. Perception is reality, and they think, oh, she's a chick. What the hell does she really know about fighting? Until she actually puts the sword in her hand, and you see how developed she really is. How good of a swordsman she is. I mean, of course, she has a lot more to learn. But I really feel like, for me, Brienne is our feminist character in this show. She doesn't take any shit from anybody. She is very loyal. She made a promise to Catelyn Stark, and she honored that promise. That was her goal. She made sure that she honored her promise. And the relationship that she developed with Jaime actually started to endear me to Jaime more. To see that Jaime, away from Cersei, really is a human being. And I don't think that would have happened without Brienne, doing that, being that bridge from Jaime to us as the viewer, as the person, dealing with these characters day in and day out. So I think, for me, I would have to put Brienne as probably one of, if not my favorite characters, just because you watch her progression, going through the entire process of the show, where she hits these peaks and valleys so much, where it's like there's even times when she tests her own faith in her own honor. I think there's times when she's like, oh God, you can feel the struggle, the conflict within her, which is very deep for me. So for me, Brienne is by far, like I said, probably one of my favorite characters. And I gotta say, it was nice in the last season to get a little of the breakup of all the seriousness of it with her and Tormund, like that like interaction between the two of them, where like he's like, yeah, what's up? And she's just like, what the hell? Like, she doesn't even realize what's happening, because I think still deep down inside, she still loves Jaime in a deeper capacity, more than she's willing to admit. But I think that the Tormund thing is actually really funny. It kind of breaks up a lot of the seriousness, and that really helps lighten the mood. But for me, I absolutely love Brienne.
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback off that. I love her as well. I think she's a very strong character. I definitely like her better on the show than I did in the book, in terms of I don't know. I just love the way that she's portrayed. I agree that she was a huge part of Jaime's transformation. So this character is also very well rounded and put together, in my opinion. I definitely I hope that she lives to the end, but I have a feeling that she's not going to make it. And the reason I say that is because she doesn't try to get away from duty or from adventure or from what needs to be done. So when the shit hits the fan, she will be right out in the front lines with her Valyrian steel sword and her armor on, ready to kick some ass and chew some bubblegum. And of course, she has sworn to Sansa, so she's going to do everything she can to protect her. I don't want to see anything happen to her. I would love to see her and Tormund Giants make it together. I think that would be funny. I'm definitely, what is it? I'm shipping them. Is that how the young people say it these days? I'm shipping them.
Yes.
I'm still learning this slang. But yeah, I think that...
Wait, you're what?
I want to see them in a relationship, so you say I'm shipping them. See, I'm learning what the young people say.
Okay, that's new to me.
Anywho, I just don't want to see her die, and I'm afraid that she's going to be on the chopping block. Trin, your thoughts?
As far as Brienne goes, she has come a long way. She's very, very dedicated and loyal. She sees everything through, from killing Stannis. Like, she vowed after Renly's death that she would go find Stannis and kill him. And it was cool to see her able to carry that out at the end. And she did it with honor. Like, she did it in an honorable way, even though he was injured and battle worn and whatnot. Like, she basically sat him down, or he was sitting, I think. And she was like, "Are you Stannis?" And then she just took him. Um, the the some of the fans were saying there was a parallel between, or there's a lot of parallels. Chrissy K says there's lots of parallels between Arya and Brienne, and
Oh yeah.
I can absolutely see it. Except they didn't have. Brienne had her early days where she was an outcast and she was treated kind of poorly by people. Um, of no, like she didn't cause it herself. It was just because she was big and she was kind of just like a big, not very pretty girl. And she got support from Renly, and whoever gives her any kind of acceptance and support is who she tends to lean towards. She did the same thing with Catelyn Stark. Didn't Catelyn accepted her for who she was, and therefore she was completely loyal to Catelyn. And you can see that with Sansa and her. Like Sansa has no problem having a female knight at her service. And so she's going to be very loyal to Sansa as well because Sansa accepts her for who she is.
I'd love to have someone like that loyal to me, you know what I mean?
I'm loyal to you, Chris.
Oh, yes. Believe me.
You do.
I know.
You have John is your Brienne.
Oh,
No.
You need to put on a wig, buddy.
He would drop you the moment that the Stark showed up.
I'm Chris's hand to the king, okay?
There you go. I like that.
Until Stark shows up.
Okay, so
There are a lot of parallels between those two characters, and Richard says that with Arya back, she is irrelevant. I don't really agree with that. I think that Arya could be Sansa's protector, but I feel like she's still more of an assassin. We talked about that earlier in the show. I still think that Brienne of Tarth is going to do something like maybe she's going to save Jaime in one of the major battles that are coming up, or like another time that she saves him, but more of a I'm actually going to stop a sword from going through your head kind of thing, rather than saving his person, like his soul or whatever. There's a lot of things they could do with this character. I'm really looking forward to seeing. I'm really looking forward to seeing Brienne of Tarth standing next to the Hound, like fighting side by side against the undead, or against Cersei's forces. So that should be cool. So, John, what are your thoughts on good old Brienne of Tarth?
Brienne of Tarth is a badass. My favorite fight, one of my favorite fight scenes when she fights the Hound. My second favorite when she fights Arya. It's interesting. I do agree with the parallels between Arya and Brienne. I think if Arya stays in Winterfell, and if everything doesn't happen to Arya, I think she grows up to be exactly like Brienne. This person who doesn't want to be like, because Brienne, you mentioned Renly, right? Brienne, there's that scene where she's talking to Pod and she's saying how her father organized this dance to try to get men with her, and then everyone was laughing at her. And then that's when Renly came up and danced with her and stuff. I think that's something that I think Ned would have tried to got Arya to hook up with someone. It never would have happened. I think Arya would have been Brienne as an adult if she doesn't go through all that stuff, in my opinion. And I also, to Trin, this, Chris, I want Brienne to mount the bear. I've been shipping this. I've been shipping that since season 6. I'm hoping it still happens, and I want to see it happen because I think that'd be just
Tormund?
Yeah, Tormund, the bear.
Oh, okay.
He's the Giant's Bane.
Bear
Come
and
on.
the Maiden Fair.
The bear and the maiden. And I've been shipping that since season 6. If you guys listen to the podcast, I've been wanting that since he made googly eyes to her. And I want to see her fight next to the Hound. And I'm hoping Hound will get his hands on a Heartsbane, the Valyrian Steel sword that Sam has. So both of them will have Valyrian Steel swords fighting the White Walkers.
Yeah, because I don't see Sam wielding that, like in battle. Not effectively, anyway. And we'll talk more about Sam soon enough. All right, so I think we covered a pretty good amount with Brienne of Tarth. Let's move on to Cersei Lannister. Cersei Lannister has been a crazy villain. And her story has gone, at least in my opinion, up and down, left and right, back and forth, sideways and slantways. Holy shitballs. I mean, at one point, I felt this is an incredible character, and the way that the character was written is just blowing my mind. Whether you like the Lannisters or not, she starts out with this you don't like her, and then there comes a time where you actually feel sympathy for her to a point. Like you're happy she's getting her just deserves. However, there's still a part of you, at least there was a part of me anyway, that was like, oh my God, she's walking, people are throwing shit on her and they're wiggling their ding dongs in front of her and spitting on her and calling her a brother fucker and a whore. And you just couldn't help to kind of feel that embarrassment while she was doing the walk of shame. And I kind of wanted to punch that broad behind her, like, shame, shame, like, shut up. So there was a brief moment where I felt sorry for Cersei, and then she went right back to being evil, but amplified. And then I felt bad for her again for a brief amount of time, and then she blew up the sept. And I thought, wow, that takes some serious balls. And I kind of liked her for that. And what's amazing about this character to me is that she has been considered, I don't know if this is the right way to say it, but she's been, traded to a king to make babies. She's been kind of, no one's given her like enough credit. She's been kind of looked down upon. Everyone thinks she was a brother fucker, et cetera, et cetera. And the next thing you know, she's on the Iron Throne right now, and she doesn't give a lot of shits except for to protect her new offspring. So an incredible journey, in my opinion, for this character. Any thoughts, guys?
Yes. I think she has had an amazing journey, and we've probably got to see more of Cersei's journey than almost any other character, honestly, because you know about her background, you know about her family. There's so much of the other characters that talk about the Lannisters and the Lannister history. So you get a lot of information about her history, where she comes from, why she is the way she is, and her perspective. And then you watch her go from Queen of the Seven Kingdoms to the Regent or Dowager or whatever she is when she's the mother. And then you see everything stripped away from her in the cells when she was collected by the Faith militant, and then you see her do this walk of shame. And for most people, that would be like a humbling experience, not Cersei Lannister. Cersei Lannister came back even worse. Like they made her into even more of a savage. If you could even get more savage than she already was, she became more savage after her walk of atonement. And so watching this amazing, what we thought was just like, oh, really horrible villain, is now she's like legitimately the worst villain in the show, like in the good way. But she's just this, she is definitely to be feared.
What do you think, John?
Cersei's batshit crazy. She's the worst. She's the worst person in Game of Thrones. Everything that's happened to her, she caused herself. I mean, she poisons. She messes with Robert's wine and Robert dies thinking that Joffrey's going to be a good king, and Joffrey ends up being the most worst king ever. So she fucked that up, and then she puts Tommen. Then Tommen comes on the throne, and all that stuff happens. Then Tywin dies, so Tommen doesn't have anyone to take over to kind of help him lead. Then she decides to arm the Faith militant, and that backfires on her, and she has to do that whole walk of shame stuff. Then she decides, oh, I'm just going to kill everyone in the Sept, and then you create more enemies for yourself there. You turn pretty much everyone against you because you thought you were being smart when you weren't. You turn Jaime against you because you are so selfish to not care about the whole kingdom. You just care about your offspring and ruling, because it's all you ever want to do is rule. Meanwhile, there's a big threat that you don't realize is coming. So you turn Jaime against. So your one person that cares about you the most is gone. Now you just have people that kind of fear you. You have Euron, who if you don't realize that Euron's probably gonna kill you the second he marries you. So there's that. I think I hope she's gonna die. I can't wait. It's gonna be my favorite moments when she dies. Hopefully it's Jaime. Hopefully it's Arya wearing Jaime's mask. She's so like, you're bringing the Golden Company in to take back Westeros. What are you taking it back? All your enemies are either in the north or they're gone. I mean, she's so I don't know what she's thinking sometimes. She wants to bring the Golden Company in to take back. Who are you taking back? There's no one in the Stormlands. There's no one in the Reach. There's no one left. I mean, she's so stupid. I hate Cersei. I hope she dies. She's an idiot. She has no idea how to rule. She thinks even Tywin called her out on her shit, says you're not as smart as you think you are. Tyrion said it many times. Every time she tries to play the game, I think it backfires in her immensely. All those victories in season 7 was because of Jaime outsmarting his enemies, not her. I think she's completely has no idea how to be a queen.
Julie, your thoughts on Cersei Lannister?
I think it should be a show in and of itself, don't you think? I think I have to disagree with my Canadian colleague here. I think Cersei is probably the smartest character in Game of Thrones. If you think about it, she has strategically placed herself in the correct position. She's exactly where she has always wanted to be. I don't think she gave a damn about her children dying. The only one she gave a damn about was her daughter. She didn't give a shit that Joffrey died. She was more pissed because she thought Sansa was the one who killed him. Not that he died, that she thought Sansa turned her back on her like that. That's what she was pissed off most about. She didn't give a shit that what was the other boy's name?
Tommen.
Tommen, that's it. She didn't care that he jumped. He didn't care that he jumped out of the window. She only gave a shit that the sept blew up and that the wife was in there because she was, the beloved one. She was the one that the people were loving and cheering, and not Cersei, the one that's been their queen regent for so long. She was more pissed that the pretty one was getting all the attention. She didn't give a shit about her son jumping out of the window. The only one she cared about was her daughter, because her most hated brother sent her away, and she was pissed about that. How dare you send my daughter away from me? Blah blah. And then her daughter dies because of the snake girls, or whichever ones they're called. She was very upset about that. She didn't give a shit about that baby inside of her. She don't give a damn. She is right where she wants to be, and she's happy to be there. If she gave a damn, she wouldn't be in cahoots with the crazy psycho guy that got ousted from the what do they call them? What is Sam now? He's help me guys.
Maesters?
A maester, yeah. She's got the crazy maester guy that's creating all the
Qyburn.
poisons. Yeah, Qyburn.
Yeah.
She's got the mountain, who's like a complete freakazoid right now. She is exactly where she wants to be. She don't give a damn that Jaime left. She don't give a damn. Jaime had a choice. She gave Jaime a choice. She said, you stay here with me and we do this, or you leave. Jaime's like, well, fuck you, I'm leaving. She don't give a damn Jaime left. She is right where she wants to be. And when they do decide to come to get the Iron Throne from her, she's got a plan. Don't think for a second that Cersei Lannister doesn't have a plan for when all your asses come to get that throne from her. She is the smartest, most calculated character in Game of Thrones, and she has continued to do it while drunk as a skunk. And that is badass.
I want to interject something really quick. I think the only thing that she didn't have a plan for was, because I agree with you on all the other stuff, Jaime has never let her down. Jaime has never turned his back on her. He's always come back to her. And I don't think that she planned, or I don't think it was in her master plan for him to leave. And he left because of honor, because they said, we're going to go help you. And then she's like, you're the stupidest Lannister. and he was like, what? No, I am the most, he was trying to be the most honorable. He was trying to get that honor back that he's, had lost so many times over. And I think when it came down to that final choice of Cersei or my honor, he's always picked Cersei. and
That's true.
he finally picked his honor and
Yeah.
left her. And so
Well,
I
because
think
he saw he saw that figure when they brought
Yes,
that White Walker
yes.
or he was like, holy shit, it's real.
yeah.
Like at that point, his training of knighthood went into effect. Like,
Mhm.
okay, wow, this is legit. Like we
gotta
can't
fight this.
rule if
Yeah.
we don't fix this and deal with this. So
Mhm.
you're right. She did not account for that. But I seriously don't think she's gonna lose a bit of sleep over it.
No, but because her plan, I think, is the Golden Company, and she's got the
Yeah.
backing of the Iron Bank. Jamie knows that now.
Yeah.
And so he's taking that information to the north.
That's a valid point.
So they will be prepared. And I think that she would never have told him if she thought he was going to betray
leave.
or
Yeah,
leave.
That's a good point.
I don't think because she didn't tell him about Euron Greyjoy and ducking out. And so there's things that she keeps from him, but I think that she didn't plan on that. So that'll be an interesting play. Like, how is she going to deal with that? Because we don't see any more of Cersei after that moment.
That's true.
In the rest of the season, we don't see her because the season was over at that point. But it will be interesting. And there's a lot of comments. So, John, go ahead.
I think Cersei's not the smartest. I think she thinks she is. I mean, she's got pretty much turned everyone against her. She does care about Jaime because if she really was like, go leave, she would have struck him down. She was ready. The Mountain had the sword. He was ready to pull the sword out, So if she really didn't care, but she really didn't care about Jaime.
Tyrion was sitting in her, and she hates Tyrion. She
True.
didn't kill Tyrion. And he was like, and he said, kill me.
One thing about Cersei, she underestimates her enemies. And I think that's going to be her backfire because I think the Golden Company is going to come in to conquer what? I have no idea because all the enemies are either anyone that she wants to go is north. I even think the Lannister army is marching north because I think Jaime dismissed all the officers and he even said, let's just rush and get over there. So all the Lannister army is going there. She's bringing the Golden Company to conquer what? Stormland's gone. There's no one in Stormland.
No, I think you're misunderstanding how calculated Cersei really is. I'm trying to be respectful here. I think you miscalculate how just cold and calculated she can be. She does not give a shit that the White Walkers are coming. In her mind, that's the North's problem.
She'll probably have a backup plan for that. She knows that because they explained to her how to, Jon had the arm and lit it on fire. In her mind, she's got wildfire. She can fight him with wildfire.
I don't think
she doesn't realize that it's not going to help her.
I don't think
she has backup plans.
Right. She does. She's very calculated. I agree.
I just think she thinks she's calculated. She's not. I think she underestimates everyone. She's literally underestimated the Faith Militant. She thought she can come in, arm them to take out, the what am I?
The Tyrells.
The Tyrells. It backfired because she underestimated them. She's constantly underestimating. She underestimated the Dornish, and what happened? Her daughter died because of it.
Right, I understand that, John. But let's see what did she do to the Faith Militant though? She got her fucking revenge. She blew up the fucking sept
and turned everyone against her.
Doesn't matter. She got her revenge.
She didn't turn anybody against her because anybody who was against her was in that sept.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't.
She got
at
rid
that
of
point,
all
she doesn't care if you're with her or against her. She doesn't give a fuck.
You're bringing the Golden Company for what? Like, to me, I think she's gonna get that Golden Company is getting wiped out. I think by the Night's King, because you're bringing the Golden Company to conquer what? I have no idea. Because all your enemies are either, like I said before, there's no one left in the south. Everyone's in the north. So what are you going to bring? Like, to me,
they're not going to conquer anything.
The only thing that the Golden Company is going to do is they're going to end up being a part of the Night's King army.
Yeah, but she said, I'm bringing the Golden Company in to retake, while everyone's there, I'm going to retake Arthur. But what are you retaking, really? Because everyone's gone. But I just think that, I just think she's not as smart as everyone thinks she is. I think she's made a lot of mistakes.
I think that she has. I think that it is important to remember, though, that, in parallel to our own world, that some of the most successful people in this world are not smart, but they're consistent. And she is consistently taking out her enemies or consistently being batshit crazy.
Is that her or is that Jaime? Because Jaime came up with the battle plan to attack the Reach, not her.
No, that's a good
it wasn't
point.
her. It was Jaime. Jaime is if there's no Jaime, she loses because Jamie's the tactical gene. Like, I mean, I'm not a big Jamie fan. Everyone knows this, but Jamie said, I learned from Robb Stark. I attacked, if it was up to Cersei, she probably would have kept the army in Castle Rock. And then boom, the Unsullied comes and takes out the Lannisters right there and done. But Jamie's like, no, I'm going to take my army. I'm going to attack the Reach. It was
she
Jamie.
still has Euron Greyjoy and Qyburn at her
Euron
side,
Greyjoy is overrated. Euron Greyjoy
I'm
is a
just
pirate,
saying she's
man.
not alone. That's all
Yeah,
I'm
no,
saying.
she's not alone, but she's got a fleet. But what's a fleet gonna do? I mean,
Well,
like,
as far as her advisors go.
I'll take one dragon. I'll take Drogon against an entire fleet because he'll
Well,
burn
yeah,
every
that's
ship,
true.
right?
Isn't Euron? You're pretty intelligent when it comes to tactics and stuff. At least from the conversations we've had. Euron is definitely not. I can't believe he's that overrated. I mean, he did wipe out half of Dany's fleet, right?
He's good with the fleet, but we're talking land. When it comes to land forces, the Greyjoys are not a land army. They're a fleet.
He's got the ballasts.
He's more like if Euron's on the water, he's awesome. He's smart. He destroyed. He attacked. What's her name now? Yura. Yeah, Yura's fleet.
Yara.
He did that. But we're talking on land. Who's leading on land right now for Cersei? Who's the Cersei's commander on land? Because you put Euron in charge of the Golden Company. There's no one.
Qyburn.
No, I'm saying,
it's gonna be Qyburn.
We don't know yet because once Jamie left, that was it. That was the end of the Cersei storyline for that season. We have no idea what reserves she has or who she's chosen to be those people now. We don't know that. We won't know that until the season starts.
Is Qyburn? Is Qyburn on our list?
On whose list?
On our list of characters to discuss.
I'm sure he would be.
He's not.
Think so.
And I don't. To be honest, I don't see like. He's like barely like.
He wasn't really. Yeah, he wasn't really like a main character or even a secondary character until like seasons 5 when she did the Walk of Shame.
Like 2 seasons ago. Yeah.
And let's see what the fans have to say, though. Chris Ennis says Cersei is very much a victim in her own right. Big E says Cersei is a fighter in her own right, which both of those are kind of true. You said it yourself, bleh. John. You said that she is responsible for all the bad things that happen to her, so she's kind of that victim. Mama Cheryl says Cersei is very much a queen in her own right. And then Chris says, let's be honest, though, Cersei can only do what she wants solely because of the mountain. And Mama Cheryl says, I love to hate her.
Thank you, Mama Cheryl. You're on
Chrissy
my side.
K says the mountain, in my opinion, is really under Qyburn's control, which is a great point.
That is a valid point.
Yeah. And then Chris says, perhaps, but he's serving Cersei at the moment. Either way, without him and Qyburn, she'd be dead by now, which is also a really good point. Mama Cheryl says, for now, but I believe she'd find a way no matter what. And Chrissy K says, only because Qyburn needs her. So it's a really good perspective on who's in control here. It's almost paralleling Tywin Lannister when he was the Hand and he was King Aerys' hand. Mm-hmm. And everybody was saying, oh, it's actually Tywin that's running the place. So Qyburn's kind of the new Tywin.
Yeah, but then remember, Tywin left. Yeah, like, fuck you, right. I'm out. You're too crazy, I'm out.
So then Chris says, I just think once Tywin died, that would have been the end of the Lannisters had she not had the one thing no one knows how to kill. He's referring to the mountain. She didn't care because he betrayed her with the faith. I don't know who he's talking about right there. And Chrissy says, right, and Qyburn knows it, but he's a survivor out for himself. I believe he has control of the mountain in reality. So they were just discussing that.
And that's a bonus when you're in the live show. You can comment with your fellow Thronies during the show, and we'll try to get, if it makes sense of the podcast, we'll read it. So another reason to watch it, BehindTheIronThrone.tv.
And people are having good conversations among themselves in the chat as well. Big E says that he's glad Jamie got out of that toxic relationship. And then Chris says toxic femininity.
I call it bad pussy.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Mute him.
Chris quoted Tywin, I don't trust you because you are a woman. I don't distrust you because you are a woman. I distrust you because you're not as clever as you think you are.
And I would say, and I would counter that to Tywin is at least she didn't get shot with a bow and arrow on the shitter.
Yeah, well, yeah. And then the Golden Company is going to be a golden buffet for the dragons.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then there's a bunch of emojis and stuff. That was about Tommen. I don't. Okay.
The thing with
that's
the
all
face,
caught up.
When he was talking about the face, he was talking about Tommen.
Yeah, so she was betrayed by Tommen. Regards to the face.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. Sorry about that, guys. So yeah, we're all caught up with the comments now.
Okay. Well, like her or not, Cersei's still alive, and she's definitely a character that's going to create some kind of issue in season 8. I think we can all agree on that. Next, let's talk about good old Dany. And I wish Yardley was here.
Oh Lord. Yes.
But it was his. But Danny's or Yardley's birthday was this weekend. And
oh snap! You know where he was?
Yeah,
belated.
that's right. Happy belated birthday, buddy. Mardi Gras.
He was in New Orleans.
Yeah.
He was in New Orleans.
Every year. One of these days, I'm going to go down there with him.
I hope he listens to this. Yardley, I really hope you had like a giant margarita for me, brother.
Yeah, we love you, man. Happy birthday.
Hope you got them beads, baby.
Dany Targaryen. I mentioned this on another podcast, and it's funny because you bounce around with these characters, and I think that's one of the things that makes the Game of Thrones interesting to me, whether it's book or the show, that some characters you like them, then you hate them, then you hate them, then you like them, and then you're like, nah, I don't know, and there's all these conspiracy theories, and some of them are just batshit crazy, and some of them have some merit to them. However, with Dany, for me, has been a roller coaster. I liked her in the very beginning. I didn't like her, and then I really like her again, more than I ever had before. Even though she is with Jon Snow, who I like as a character, but I'm not a big fan. I don't know. I like Jon Snow, but he's a fan favorite, and I want to do the devil's advocate thing, kind of thing. But so I like Dany, and I like her even more now. I think she's definitely grown as a character, and there were some things that I gave her grief on, trying to take slavery out of Slaver's Bay, and I thought that was kind of crazy for her to do. However, as I've seen her grown into the character she is today, you can see that all the stuff that she went through was absolutely building blocks into who she is now. And I think it's very important that she did some of those things. And of course, one of my favorite scenes is when she's riding on the back of Drogon for the first time, and it looked like Falco from
Neverending
Story. Neverending Story. Every time I see that, I watch the season. I rewatched the season just recently, and she's riding on and I'm like, "Yep, there she goes." It's like Neverending Story all over again. So I don't know, Julie, how do you feel about Dany now, opposed to when we first started talking about her on the podcast? Has anything changed with you? Have you gained respect for her? Do you think she's going to survive at the end of all this?
I just like you, Dany has been an acquired taste. There's aspects of her story and there's aspects of her character that I enjoyed, but then there's parts that really pissed me off. You know what I mean? Like, at the very onset, when we meet Dany and she is, this submissive to her brother, I wasn't a fan. I didn't understand. I wasn't a big fan of the arc of it. I mean, I knew it was part of the whole storyline, but I wasn't a fan. And then you find yourself feeling sorry for her when she is handed to what the guy, the horse guy, what the hell's his damn name?
Khal Drogo.
Drogo, thank you. Khal Drogo. When she's kind of just like presented to him, and then they have that very weird, awkward scene in the hut, and you're like, oh God, I feel so bad for her. But then she kind of endears herself to you because the relationship that the two of them, it's this beautiful, weird love story that her and Khal have until the moment that, he's stabbed and he dies. And then she tries everything she can to save his life, unfortunately. But, and then she starts to come into her own. Now she makes a lot of mistakes. Let's not beat around the bush. Dany made a shit ton of mistakes. I think one of my favorite scenes in all of Game of Thrones is when she goes into the fire with those eggs, and when it's all said and done, and she's buck naked, with the shard marks on her, with the dragons on her, I'm like, dude, that might have been probably the most like what scene, other than the scene where Jon Snow pets the dragon for the because he looks at him like that. I was like, whoa. Both Mom and I on that scene were like, holy crap. But I think, her character is the same. It's a very up and down, she does a lot of good things, but then she does some really stupid things. And then she's trying to free all these slaves, not realizing that you're now screwing up the economy. She's just trying to do what she thinks is best, and that's commendable. But on the same hand, she's made a lot of mistakes as a leader. I think now where her storyline is, with having to ask others for help, and her getting to know Jon, and now where she and Jon are in their relationship, it's going to be interesting to see how her character develops over this next season. Does she survive? Does she not survive? That's obviously, it's going to be debated among everybody that watches Game of Thrones and who cares about Game of Thrones. I feel she will survive. I think that she and Jon will make it through this. But I have to say, there were times when you're just screaming at the TV like, Dany, what the F are you doing? Why are you doing this? And then you get to that point with Dany and you're like, I totally want to just like sit down with you and hug you and just like, make you feel better. Like, you have those up and down moments with Dany. And I think, again, I feel I don't think we've seen the last bit or the arc of Dany. I think we're about to get the arc of Dany, in my opinion.
Yeah, she definitely has gone through a lot. There's still more for her to do in this story. Like, if you think about, she is the fire and the ice and fire, basically. She brings the fire. But her storyline, to me, she was too perfect from the get-go, like the most beautiful. She's a Targaryen. They were the rulers. They were the dragon riders. Everything about her was just so perfect that it hurts my heart to say this, and I've said that before on here, but I feel like we're going to see her death, and we're going to see her death because there's going to have to be some kind of sacrifice, and it's going to be her, because she is this perfect sort of being in this. And she's going to be the sacrifice that George R.R. Martin writes into the end, and why it will be bittersweet. How that comes about, I'm not exactly sure. I've heard a lot of people talk about Jon being the one to do it, like the whole Nisa prophecy. But I don't know if I really buy into that one. There's really not enough evidence, unless it was something like she dies in childbirth kind of thing. Then in a sort of metaphorical way, it could be the Nisa prophecy. But anyway.
I don't know if they're going to tie that in together. I don't know, because they didn't mention that at all in the show. Mm-hmm. And putting that in would maybe... I will say that I could see part of what you're saying. I could see happen. I could see Dany dying in childbirth to the actual princess that was promised. I'm not convinced that she is the prince that was promised, or princess, whatever. It could be. I could be wrong, but I just feel like we could get that bittersweet ending where we're not going to get a full ending. That line has got me all kinds of screwed up. And I don't want to see what I think is going to happen.
So, Chris, you don't think we're gonna get closure with Dany's character?
Well, yes and no. I think that for Dany, Jon somehow, because Jon's gonna give her a baby, and I think that she is going to give birth, and nothing is going to be fully resolved. Like, the child is going to be the
prince who was promised.
Yeah, or some kind of.
Or princess.
Yeah, so it kind of leads into a sequel series, if you will.
Right.
But I feel like I want closure, but I'm afraid they're not going to give it to us. And it's not going to be a fade to black, but it's going to be all right, the shit's hit the fan. Right now, the Night King is winning, and poof, here comes the baby, and then everyone's like, oh, the baby will win, or that's the sword of that's the Zora High, or that's the sword or whatever.
Wouldn't that be interesting?
But you know what I mean, like. I don't know.
Well, I think there's a lot of information that we already have that would support that, because Melisandre, when she showed up on Dragonstone to talk to Dany, and she's like, "You need to meet Jon Snow," and then she's like, "Oh, why?" And she said, and then she said the prophecy, and then Missandei was like, "Oh, it means prince or princess." Well,
Yeah,
and
valid point.
Melisandre's exact words were, "You both have a part to play," because she was saying that she had once said that like Stannis was the prince who was promised, and then maybe Jon was the prince who was promised, and then Varys came in and was like, "Haven't you?"
Do you think that Melisandre changed that when she actually met and was interacting with Jon? Do you think then she felt a deeper connection to that prince that was promised? Or Zora High, when she actually interacted with Jon? She had never met Jon up until that point. I know we're getting off topic from, but
yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
I think Melisandre's change came when she was part of bringing Jon back.
Right.
And she had completely doubted everything that she'd ever known before that, because she just saw Stannis go down and had to do the burning of Shireen and everything. So she was starting to question everything and about her own faith and what she was seeing and what she was supposed to be doing. Like her path was just knocked off course at that point. So when she brought Jon back, then she was like, okay, so maybe this isn't exactly what I think it is, but obviously something's going on here. So I'm not going to be so specific. And she says that to Dany, like,
she's taking it at face value.
Prophecies can be a little vague.
Right,
so
right, yeah.
Be careful with what you do. You guys both have a part to play, Jon and Dany. And she was...
Yeah, I thought that was a profound scene.
Yes.
When she said that to them. And I was just like, what do you mean by that?
So that scene, I think, is the evidence to support what Chris was saying, that it's pretty likely that we'll see Jon and Dany have a baby, and that baby could be the prince or princess who was promised.
However, my predictions are always wrong. So if you're doing any bets at work, like you want to throw that out there.
All of them are wrong?
Pretty much. Pretty much every one that I've ever done has been almost pretty much wrong. I didn't think the Hound was going to come back, and he did. I am still saying that Serial Furl is out, and we're never seeing or hearing about him again.
Here we go.
That prediction is going to hold true. John, any thoughts here on Dany?
I've been waiting for this. Dany is dying. I'm sorry to say this to people. Dany is dying. She's either going to die giving birth. She's dying somehow. She's going to give birth, though, to, I would say, twins, one boy, one girl. That's my preference, but I think she's dying. I don't see her living. I'm sorry. I agree with you, Trin. Everything's so perfect. I think she's dying. Whether she dies giving birth, whether Jon sacrifices her for Lightbringer, even though I don't think that's going to happen, because they never mention it. I think she's dying, and she's going to give twin boy and girl. I like Dany. I've always loved Dany. My favorite scene is her just destroying the Lannister army with the Dothraki and the dragon with Drogon. So that's awesome. She's gonna be. I think she's gonna do some damage though with Drogon in that war. Like, burning people. She's gonna be burning that army and stuff. But at the end of the day, I agree with a lot of what you said, Trin. But I've loved her from, like I said, I loved her from day one. I think she's dying. I can't see her living, because I just don't think. I think the bittersweet ending that you mentioned, Chris, is going to be Jon living, falling in love with Dany, but Dany dying and having those twins. I think that's the bittersweet that everyone is talking about, is Dany dying, because Dany's a fan favorite. She's the top 3, and I think that's the bittersweet ending.
Okay. Any other thoughts on Dany? If not, Trin, you want to read some comments, and we're going to end the show with Dany, and then we're going to pick it up on part 2, starting with Euron Greyjoy. So,
Sir Davos is next, actually.
Oh, is it Sir Davos?
Yeah.
Oh, Sir Davos, then we'll go with, I guess, whoever's next. So there you go.
So Big E said, looking forward to Dany's meeting Sam. The fact that she killed her booty call's friend's dad and brother, and the man who saved Jorah Mormont from Grayscale. So Sam,
very, very good one.
Yeah, Sam saved Jorah Mormont, and then Dany killed Sam's dad and brother.
Yeah, but wouldn't Sam be happy? I mean, he didn't really like his dad. Like,
it's an honor thing, though.
Yeah.
I mean, for Chris and I, we wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah, that's a whole other ball of wax.
I don't think Sam would care. I don't think Sam would care because of Jon. I think Jon, he'd be like, I don't care.
So Mama Cheryl says Dany was young and needed experience, but now she's much wiser, but still a bit too prissy. But I think she'll have one super badass scene before it's over. And then
Let's hope.
Chrissy K says Dany feels entitled. And then Chris Innes says everything that has happened to Cersei and Sansa has happened to Dany. She's the one best maintaining her resolve.
I'll say to Chrissy, you know, she's absolutely right. Dany does feel entitled, and she acts entitled a lot of times. You know, there's a lot of situations, especially when she goes to the that one area where they took the help from that guy that they locked in the vault. She walked around extremely entitled in that scene.
Oh, in Karth,
yes.
With Zara's on
absolutely. She walked around. So Christy K, you're correct. She does walk around.
Oh,
and
she doesn't hide it though.
Oh, she doesn't though. She's like straight up out there.
She's very much.
She owns it.
That's right. She does.
She wears
I didn't
it as a
have
badge of
faith
honor.
in anything else. I had faith in myself because I'm a Targaryen and I knew I was the last dragon. Blah 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 blah. She's not hiding it at all.
I say confidence.
Yeah,
I kind of agree with you, Chris.
But you know what? I think on the same hand, I think arrogance and confidence sometimes can go hand in hand.
Yeah, they can be damn close.
Damn close, exactly. Yeah.
There's definitely a line there for sure.
So finishing Chris's comment, he said everything that's happened to Cersei and Sansa has happened to Dany. She's the one best maintaining her resolve. She's been beaten, raped, sold off to one husband, almost killed multiple times. She was
good point,
entitled until Jon's revelation. I think Jon will sacrifice Dany as Azor Ahai. And then Mama Cheryl says she won't die in childbirth. The ice dragon is going to kill her.
Oh no, Mama Cheryl, no, that's her baby. Oh my God, I hope not.
That could very well be.
No, I would literally cry. That would make me so sad. That's her baby.
I think she has to give birth before.
I don't know that. Yeah, how would the dragon kill her in battle because she's fire retardant?
Well, I think that
she's not
the ice dragon isn't breathing fire. He's breathing
he's breathing
cold
ice fire.
Something. It's something blue.
I mean, we have
not something borrowed.
You know that commercial for Halls with the blue Halls? Right. That's what it is. That's exactly what the dragon.
Like ice
I wonder.
I think
with all the different fires, I wonder if Dany's like immune to wildfire.
I wonder if she's immune to all fire.
Mm-hmm.
I think
I mean, obviously we've got wildfire, we've got regular fire. The dragon's gonna have an ice fire, a blue fire, whatever the hell he's gonna have. I wonder if she's immune to all of it, or if it's just one fire specific.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's any rules to that.
I think Dany, going back to here, I think Dany is better when she has advisors around her. When she lost Jorah Mormont, when she banished Jorah Mormont, it wasn't good for her. And in that room is going to be 3 very, very good advisors. You got Jorah Mormont, who I think is a good advisor. You got Tyrion Lannister is a great advisor, and you got Sir Davos as a great. You got 3 legit guys who are going to advise not only Dany but Jon, and you got Sam, who can also contribute in his way. So you got 4 people there who are
Tyrion.
You have the new Dream Creeper.
Lord Varys.
Varys,
Varys.
Not when it comes to strategy and stuff. I mean, yeah, I guess you could throw Varys in there too. Like, there's going to be a lot of smart people.
Jamie's going to possibly be there.
And Jamie's there.
Yeah, Jamie's going to be there.
It's going to be a really I think they're going to be not in good hands, but they're going to have a fighting chance because you got a lot of smart people in that room. A lot of hardened battle guys like Stavros has been in battles. You know, Jorah Mormont has fought in not only the Robert's Rebellion, but he fought in the Greyjoy Rebellion. Jamie has fought battles. Giantsbane is always there too. So there's going to be a lot of
There's
people.
just one problem with it all, though. They have never fought a battle like this.
But John has, in a way. John knows.
John has in a way, but
John,
here's the thing.
I think John
they
knows.
have to be able to they have to be able to listen to him. They have to be able to they have to be able to trust in what John is telling them. If for any reason, if that giant council that you talk about, John, you talk about how many years combined experience they're going to have in that room. If for any moment, any one of those people do not trust what John is telling them, they are in big trouble. They are going to have to work together. And this is going to be the ultimate test. If they're going to survive, they have to work together.
And I think that's why John, it has to be said that John, I think that's why Sam and Bran has to reveal who John really is. And I don't know if there's a way for Bran to kind of like psychic everyone to
They might do it in a small council room, but they're not going to do it in the whole grand scheme of it for everybody to hear.
I think it has to be done. Everyone has to acknowledge who John really is.
Well,
and I think everyone will follow John because the North saw John fight Ramsay outnumbered. He fought Ramsay. They know who raised John, Ned Stark. And I keep telling people this. It's not your name. It's who raised you. That is what matters. It's not that you could be a Targaryen, but it's who raised John. Ned Stark raised John. Where was John raised? Winterfell. He's a Northerner. He could be a Targaryen.
No, I totally understand that, John. But you and I both know the bloodline matters most in Game of Thrones.
On a Stark's bloodline, there is a Stark blood. It's
do you know what Andrea?
He's more Targaryen than he is Stark.
Do you know what Andrea would say right now, guys? Andrea would say that it's not the female line that dictates that.
Male.
It's the male line.
That's right.
And favor Ned, though.
Keep in mind, though, it doesn't matter. Okay, I understand what everyone's saying, but keep in mind this: in this universe, the male line holds the dominant.
That's right.
Control, right?
Yep.
Now, if they do it in private, no one ever has to know that he's actually a Targaryen.
But I think
I don't know. I think
everyone has to know.
I got a little wrench here.
I think everyone
Here's my wrench.
Sorry. Can I finish?
He's very passionate, Trent.
I think with I don't think it matters to the North whether he's Targaryen or Stark because they saw him beat the Boltons. The Boltons were very hated by all the northern houses, and what he fought. That's why they set up and says you defeated the Boltons. You took back Winterfell. We're making you king in the North. I still think no matter what happens, I think
he didn't defeat the Boltons.
Yeah, he didn't defeat the Boltons.
He was. Come on, okay. Let's.
He did not defeat the Boltons.
That was Sansa.
Okay, they came at the end. That came at the end. Okay. Anyway,
he was defeated. He would have lost if the Eyrie didn't show up.
He was getting crushed on the bottom of a pile.
Yeah.
Listen, the facts of the matter is they proclaim him king in the North, and I still think at the end of the day, whether because he's still gonna keep his name as Jon Snow. He's not gonna all of a sudden now I'm Jon Targaryen. He's gonna keep Jon Snow. It's who raised him, and I still think at the end of the day they're gonna acknowledge him as king.
I honestly don't think he's gonna have a choice.
Hold on, I want to hear the wrench. Trent has been very patient.
So I've always thought of Littlefinger and Varys on the same page, kind of, as far as all of their information and their secrets and their knowledge and all that kind of stuff. And we've been given shots of Littlefinger when he was alive. His looks and gestures when it came to talking about Lyanna and Rhaegar, it seemed like he knew. Like Littlefinger came off as though he knew what was going on and that it wasn't a rape situation. And there's been these seeds planted in my head that makes me think that Varys and Littlefinger both knew about Jon's lineage the whole time, because they have little nuance things that they've done, and not as much Varys, but he just doesn't seem surprised by a lot of information that's given to him. He's always kind of like, oh yeah, okay, like he already knew it. Littlefinger specifically knew, like you could see it in his eye when he was down in the crypts with Sansa,
no doubt,
talking about it. He knew what Jon's lineage was. Like you could just tell.
Trent, do you think that
so I feel like at this council meeting that Jon's talking about, or that we were just going over, Varys, I feel like already knows.
Right. So do you think that the reason why Varys knows is because if we go back and we think about all the things that Varys has said and done, how he has always said that he has sworn allegiance to the true ruler of the throne, which was the Targaryens. That was always his allegiance, was to the true ruler of the throne. Do you think he knows because his allegiance is to the Targaryens? Do you think Rhaegar filled him in? Does he have a history with Rhaegar? Like, that's something I want to know. I want to know how far back.
That's a good question for Andria.
Do you know what I'm saying? Exactly. I think that is a bigger question we need to ask.
Well, he didn't come into the picture until Aerys.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Called for him because he lived over in Essos. He grew up in Essos, and then King Aerys was like, "Oh, I want this guy," and it was because King Aerys. It was after Duskendale, and he had been kidnapped. The king had been kidnapped in Duskendale, and he comes back, and he's super paranoid about everything. And that was the point when he called for Varys to come work for him as his whisperer or Lord of Whispers. So I don't know how much of a relationship. I don't know how much of a relationship Varys had with Rhaegar because it's really vague.
Think about this for a second. You're in the big council meeting room, right? Jon comes in. He's wearing his big shit-eating grin. You know, he mounted the dragon. Dany comes in. Oh, hey, everyone, this is the Targaryen we were all afraid of. And, you know how the North is like, Targaryen, you know, what the fuck? You know, how could you bend the knee to her? Because that's what the North's going to say.
That's right.
Because the North, they're proud. Jon, you should know this better than anybody.
Yes, I know that's proud.
Now, when they find out, if Bran rolls in there, and I'm thinking about this as we're talking, Bran rolls in there, he scoots in there and says, well, guess what, guys? That's the love child of Rhaegar and my aunt. And then Dany looks at Jon, and Jon looks at Dany, and they said, wow, we were cousins, and we just fucked each other. And
which is not uncommon in
however,
Targaryen bloodline.
The North now is going to look around. The guy that they just said was their king of the North and find out that he's really Targaryen because of the male bloodline, and he fucked his cousin. I don't think that's going to go over very well.
Which is what I was saying from the jump.
I think it's better if it's kept a secret. Nobody has to know. It will not degrade his character.
That's where Sansa comes in.
If it's not brought out.
Trin, why do you think that's where Sansa comes in?
Because they kind of built that up with her whole, like, her and Arya kind of being pitted against each other and Littlefinger doing that whole thing. They did a lot of talk about, the Lords of the North will always follow Sansa. And she was very worried about them not, like, when that little letter that Littlefinger had.
Oh, yes, that's right. That's right.
And Arya was like, oh, you don't want the lords to read this because then they'll see that you were trying to help Cersei and you're like, they love you. So Sansa technically is, in the books and the show multiple times throughout the season, always referred to Sansa as the key to the North. She's always been the key to the North.
That's right.
So when it comes down to it, if everybody finds out that Jon is a Targaryen and not a Stark, technically, Sansa is the key to the North. So if Sansa bends the knee, the Lords of the North would probably be like,
okay, they were
very shaky ground, guys.
But
very shaky ground.
The reason they said she was key to the North was because in the books, the kids were Brandon and Rickon was missing. Jon was already sworn. He's already a Night's Watch, and Arya was missing. So Sansa was the only one, the last Stark alive. So that
I know,
but I agree with you.
She bends the knee. Foreshadowing like that.
And I think there has been Stark cousins that have married each other. And I wish Andrea was here because she might. I have to look into that. But there has been been cousins.
Because the Targaryen bloodline is so small. But here's another thing that I'm gonna say about this, and this is something that I don't think we thought about. Are they really bending the knee? Because I mean, essentially, they're not. I mean, Dany is not on the throne yet. It's Cersei is still on the throne at the moment, right?
Their king bent the knee to her, so yeah.
But here's what I'm saying. I think at this point, this might be something that might go to the overall grander scheme, right? I don't think if it is revealed to everybody, I don't know if the North is going to be as mad because they know what's coming. Because they know that the White Walkers are coming and they all have to band together, they might not give a shit at that particular moment. If they survive it, then the fury can come. But I think for the time being, I think if anybody, here's what I think might happen. Let's say John's right. Let's say the Bran comes rolling in there and he says to them, hey, he's really a Targaryen, and the people get pissed. I have a feeling that Sansa is going to be the one that steps forward and says, listen, who gives a shit if he is a Targaryen? Right now, the bigger threat is coming from the north, and we have to prepare for that.
Yeah.
So let's shut the hell up and let's get ourselves together. Because I think Sansa's going to be the one, if any of them, she's going to be the one that says, time out, everybody. Calm the fuck down. Slow your roll. We've got shit coming, and that's more important.
Didn't Bran say we have to tell Jon? He didn't say we have to tell everyone. Bran said we have to tell Jon.
You're absolutely right. He did say that we have to tell Jon. I don't think he's gonna. I don't know.
The connection between these alliances at the north, like, it's really shaky. One thing could make it collapse, and a army that's divided is going to fail.
That's right.
But Chris, we forget one thing. They're going to get a raven saying that Eastwatch has fallen, and that a whole army of white are, because at the beginning, everyone is assuming the White Walkers are just behind the wall. They're going to get a raven, probably episode 1, that's going to say Eastwatch has fallen. A flood of White Walkers. They're all going to unite, okay, under Jon, because once they realize the threat before was we had the wall. Eastwatch is down. They're coming in. They're flooding in, and then people are going to see a white dragon. They're going to unite. No matter what happens, they're going to unite under Jon.
They're not going to have a choice.
They're not going to have a choice, because now the threat is not just the threat was always real. Now the threat is beyond the wall. They're in the north.
Yeah, it's no longer beyond the wall.
Now it's
in our own backyard.
Now it's time to, and I think the bickering, everything's got to stop. Everyone's got to follow one guy. It's got to be Jon. Everyone's just got to bend the knee to Jon and say, Jon, you're running everything. You're in charge. You take a command. And I think that's what's going to happen. Because
is Dany going to let that happen, though? She wants them to bend the knee to her.
Chris, I think Jon's right. I think Jon is 1,000% right. They're not going to have a choice, because Jon is the only one who has the commanding experience on how to fight these guys. So I think she's going to have to step aside and trust in Jon to lead them to this victory. I don't think, I mean, at the end of the day, yes, they're all going to still want to, she's still going to want them to bend the knee, but she's not sitting on the Iron Throne as right now. So I think Jon is absolutely 100% correct. It's not going to be, they're not going to have a choice. They're going to have to. And Dany's going to have to see exactly what is coming.
But we also forget one thing. He bent the knee. He never denounced being king. He just bent the knee. And we also have to remember, too, he just banged her in the boat. So now the whole relationship has changed. Now, instead of him bend the knee, maybe they come back, they're married. Maybe they married on the boat. Maybe they get married on the way to the north. This is all fact. We keep forgetting that at the last scene we saw, they're making love.
Did they have a maester on the boat?
No, but they can get married on the way. Anyways, all I'm saying is, you keep saying he bent the knee. Yes, he bent the knee. But you have to take into factors.
He bent more than the knee.
Okay, hold on. We all mentioned he bent the knee, right? And the north, but at the same time, he never denounced being king of the north. He just said, I'm bending the knee to you. He never denounced being king of the north. So he could still be king of the north and bent the knee to Daenerys. And now that he's in love with Daenerys and they made love, that changed the whole factor, because now he can marry her, which he most likely will do. And now he's king and queen together. So the bend the knee means nothing, because he's going to marry her and become king and queen. Yes, he's going to marry her.
Here's where I find the flaw in that, Jon, is because when he went back down to King's Landing in front of everyone in King's Landing, he said, sorry, I can't give you a truce, Cersei. This is my queen. And he called her out and said, this is my queen. He can't be the king of the north if he said, I've already chosen a queen.
All I'm saying, but now it's everything.
And he did it publicly, very publicly.
Yes,
but
he
he also banged her at the last thing.
That was later, though.
Who cares?
You guys have to remember.
That's not relevant at the moment.
You guys have to remember. You know, well, we don't know what they're going to do, but you have to remember, no matter what happens, Jonathan Stonemaw Starklover will fight tooth and nail to defend Jon Snow.
Listen, we're not
I hope Jon Snow dies in the first fucking episode of season 8, just to stop hearing Jon fucking defend this guy, Because
No,
he's
because I will
infallible.
have
He's
to
my
go- I
favorite
can't
character.
believe you
He's not
died.
infallible,
He's my
John.
favorite character, Chris.
He's
You
not
know I'm
Jesus
gonna
Jon
defend
Snow.
him. He
All
is
right.
to me. He is to me in this show.
Christ
In this show,
almighty.
he's Jesus in the show.
He's like,
Okay, in the show,
what was
he's
it?
Jesus for me.
He hasn't walked on water yet, my friend. He hasn't
He came back
walked
to
on.
life, but he came back to life like Jesus.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
I'm
he
sorry, I'm
didn't
crazy.
bring himself
John.
back to life.
Who
Okay.
was the last king in the north?
Rob Stark.
No, before that, before the
Freaking-
series. It wasn't it Torrhen Stark,
Stark,
Mm.
yeah.
who was the king who knelt
We can't
to
barely
a
hear you, John.
Targaryen. Yeah.
Can't hear
Not
you,
the
John.
last- John-
That's
Rob
okay. We
Stark's
don't need
last
to hear him.
Yeah,
Okay.
well,
Yeah.
So
well,
we're
that
gonna
was
end the show
Mama
there.
Cheryl, thank you.
We're gonna end the
Thank
show
you
there.
so much.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in live on BehindTheIronThrone.tv. I really appreciate it, and everyone listens to the podcast after the fact. We love you guys. You guys, you were the fans, the community, or make this podcast happen.
Had such a great interaction today. Really good interaction with
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
We're going to continue this episode for part 2 in 2 weeks, where we're going to continue going through the list of characters we think are important. And I think the next character is Sir Davos, and then we're going to go from there. You know, we still have Euron Greyjoy. We have Jon fucking Snow, Tyrion, Jamie. We have so many characters left to
Just
talk.
gonna
This-
mute ourselves for the Jon Snow part.
More enthusiasm for Jon Snow, Chris.
I get that.
Go deep down,
Everybody
you
gets
love
that. There is nobody that denies that. Anyone that listens to this podcast for at least 1 or 2 episodes knows that your head is so far shoved up Jon Snow's ass that when he brushes his teeth, he also hits your forehead.
Just
It's-
like you are with Jamie Lannister.
It's not the same because I know that he's messed up. Anyway, the point is that we appreciate the community and we love doing this podcast for you. If you get a chance, you can support us here at the studio if you use one of our Amazon affiliate links if you ever have to do any shopping. There's a link right in the show description of the video, of the podcast. And, of course, the podcast can be found on iTunes, Google, Stitcher, you name it. It can be found everywhere. Share it with your friends and your family. I'm sure they'll love all the bad words that we say. Also, if you are interested in audiobooks, because you listen to podcasts, so I'm assuming you like audiobooks as well, check out our Audible link where you get 2 free books, and you get a free trial. And even if you don't stick with Audible, you can keep those 2 free Audible books, which is really, really awesome to get. And I can't even tell you, I love Audible. I have like 235 books in my library. I've listened to every one of them. Some of them I listened to multiple times. It's a great way.
Yeah, the really cool thing is
yeah,
if
to
you
get information.
do get the subscription, you actually do get a credit for a free book every month when you do the recurring subscription too.
Yeah.
So that even pays for itself because some of those books, if you look how much they are, my goodness, they're expensive. So it really does pay for itself with one book, which is great.
Yes, absolutely. Now, and there's even another subscription I pay so I get 2 books a month. So you have that option as well. And everything that we have in our show notes, we do get a small commission, and it helps to buy equipment in the studio and whatnot and what have you. And, of course, if you can't monetarily support us, not a problem. Just keep listening to the podcast. Join us in the show. Comment, share it, and, maybe give us a couple good reviews on iTunes. We could sure use them. And, of course, don't forget to go to Ice and Fire Con. Go to iceandfirecon.com. Get your tickets. If you're staying in Ohio, you got to book now because the rooms are filling up fast, and we want to see you there. So be there or be square. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks for another great adventure with the lunatic nut jobs from Behind the Iron Throne.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right, we're done. It was definitely longer than I thought we were going to do.
I think we got
Mama Cheryl. Yeah, we hope Andrea's back too. Are we
It's
done
gonna-
on the YouTube?
We're still on YouTube. It's going to end up being
Oh,
3 episodes. I told John.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be 3.
When I put in
Oh,
in the
yeah.
in the group chat that it's going to be 2 episodes, John's like, "Why? Why?"
Well,
We
I
only
didn't
got
see
through
the notes at
5.
the time, though, Chris. I didn't see the notes at the time. I thought we were doing something else. That's why.
Oh yeah, this will be 4. This will
Because I thought
there's
we were
20
doing
characters and we got through 5.
Because I thought
Yeah.
we were doing the whole.
And I had to
God.
mute you guys for
No,
the
Chris.
first time
Chris,
in
Yeah.
history I've ever
Reason-
muted co-hosts.
Chris, the reason I said I questioned the 2 because I thought we were doing like that God talk or whatever that Andrea said, but then when I
theology.
read
Yeah.
the show notes, it was characters like, oh, okay, that makes sense. It's gonna be 4 episodes. I think we do 5 an episode.
We can't do 4.
We can't do 4 because then the show starts.
Mhm.
That's true.
So we got to get through a good
Some
amount.
of these should be short, right? Like Davos should be.
I
short.
thought some of them.
We thought a lot of them were gonna be short.
I don't know, John. Are you gonna argue with everybody every time they say
Yeah.
something?
Every fucking
Oh,
time.
you
Don't
did
argue.
Every time.
John.
Go back and listen to the
Chris
podcast.
went he's like, John, do you have something to say? Julie, you have something to say? Trin, do you have something to say? And then you said something in between every single one of them.
Actually, that's not true. Actually, I did not say anything.
Here he goes.
Mhm.
Here he
Alright,
goes.
I waited my turn for Danny, okay, and I had to wait a long time.
Yes,
for
one character. You waited your turn. One character. But
Listen,
as soon as if any name of Snow, Stark, or Targaryen is even whispered, you are all over that like flies on shit.
Oh my god, yeah. He perks right up.
well,
Percolate.
You are
Well, the
so
thing is,
biased. It is not even
it's
funny.
not biased. It's
Oh
not
yes, you
biased.
are.
It's just my
Your
opinion.
your lips are puckered up to his ass. Like
We haven't done John's. Listen. It's not. It's. I'm not
John,
biased.
you should go back and listen to the episode where John comes back to life.
I know that episode.
Right.
It's a good 25 minutes of you like, I told you.
That's his ringtone.
That was because of Chris.
That's his
that was 'cause
ringtone.
of Chris in it, and that was because of Chris.
No,
No,
that's
more
your
than Chris
ringtone.
Gray, that was. 'Cause
Mama
Chris
Cheryl
said
just
she-
said, "Dad had to shut you kids up tonight." Yes, I had to hit the mute button for the first time in podcast
Mom.
history.
Need Mama Cheryl.
Yeah, poor Chris. It's
I've
like
never had to
herding
do that
cats.
before.
He's a
Oh.
cat wrangler.
Because usually I have Andrea somewhat on my side in all this, and when because Andrea's she loves Jon Snow too, so she's usually on my side, and I don't have anyone on
She's
my
very
side.
objective, though.
Yeah, but she's also like
You are not
I
objective.
don't know. Andrea's different. Andrea's like I don't know.
Andrea has all the theories.
Yeah, she has all the theories and knowledge, and a lot of times I agree with Andrea. Like me and Andrea, our minds are synced sometimes. Like we have a telepathic.
Oh my god.
This is the
Okay,
truth.
we'll call it that.
Sometimes we're on the same page for a lot of times, a lot of things.
If Andrea
Look,
watches this, she's gonna be like,
She's
Yeah,
gonna definitely
but
be like,
and me and Andrea sometimes are on the same page, or sometimes she's changed my mind a lot of times too. Like,
yeah.
no, she changed
Now
my
that's a
mind
feat.
lot.
That's a feat because changing your mind is like trying to move a fucking mountain with a shovel.
I
Yes.
defended Jamie, and you cut me off.
I
don't
did
know
not cut
why.
you off. I
cut me off,
agreed. I
you
was
did
not
me.
the one that cut you off. Go back and listen to it. I defended you. I defended you, and I was
the one that cut
surprised.
you off.
I was
Yeah,
surprised.
she cut me off, and I'm like, see, I
Because
can't
your
be
argument
biased.
was stupid.
No, it wasn't. I was defending Jamie Lannister. That's a first for Chris. You know this, Chris.
Oh yeah,
It's
that was the
for
first.
a
I
lot
told.
of things.
Yes, sure. But boy, oh boy, you were really fucked up about Danny.
Yeah.
About the whole Jon Snow being outed in front of everybody or whatever.
Julie knows all your buttons, apparently,
Yeah.
John.
But I still think that it's
Ask
better.
my brother. I know how to push him.
You think it's better? I mean, honestly, do you think it's better at this
I
moment
think
in
it's better
time
for
with
the
the
op-
war
in the
right
open,
down the
it is.
street, like right around the corner from Winterfell, to come out and say, "Oh, by the way, I'm the guy that you named King of the North, right? I'm not really fucking Stark. Yeah,
But
yeah, I am.
I
I'm a
think
Targaryen, and I fucked my cousin. She's standing right there.
because I think
fucked
there's
her.
going to be a lot of people that are going to like Tyrion right away is going to be like, I disagree, because Tyrion will disagree because he's kind of in love with Danny. You know, Jamie's gonna have his opinion because he's got the battle tactics. A lot of Jorah Mormont's gonna disagree with John, I think.
No,
'cause
you know
Jorah
why, John?
Mormont-
I think you're dead ass wrong. Tyrion does not have a thing for Danny.
He does
like that.
There's a love thing there.
He loves
You
her
saw
as
the
a
look on his
leader.
face.
He loves her as a leader.
But
The
at the
reason
same
why he
time-
looked at her like that, why that look at his face when he found out that they were fucking doing the boom boom, is because he knows that it's not gonna work out.
But I'm
It's a
just saying,
bad deal.
Okay, I agree. Okay, that I understand.
The
But I still
North
think a
does
lot of
not
people-
forget that they had to bend the knee to the Targaryens, and they are not fucking happy about it,
But
even
what
to
I-
this day. Remember what's his name? Not the Glovers. Karstark. Forget their castles, forget the Iron Throne, there's no more dragons. This is the only king that I want to kneel to, and that was for Rob.
True. But the Targaryen's been there in the past. I mean, if it was in Fire and Blood. But what I'm saying is, I think the reason it has to be said is because I think a lot of people, even guy like Royce, the guy in charge of the Vale, he's gonna have an opinion. Everyone's gonna have an opinion, and John's gonna be like,
Yeah, and that's a problem.
Someone's gonna have to be is going to have to take charge, and I think the only way for John
Why
to
would you're missing the point though? You just said it. Everyone's going to have an opinion.
yeah.
All these assholes are out for themselves. They all have their own agenda. That's what human nature is all about, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay, and they're all going to hear this, that he's a Targaryen, that he's one of the people, that he's not been a person of the North. That's going to mean something to these northern motherfuckers. And if you don't think so, after all the
No,
fight you've ever put
I
up for the
agree,
North,
but
then you are fucked up.
But at the same time, who raised him? Ned.
That,
And I think
yes,
they're
that's
gonna trust-
important.
Because
But
they're
he's,
going to think.
but they thought he was a bastard.
But at the same time, they're going to think Ned knew. Because right away they're going to think, well, Ned knew he was who he was, so we trust Ned. Because a lot of things was, a lot of people are going to be like, you know what, Ned, I think Lady Mormont's going to really be the key to everyone. Because I think when she came up and she put every lord in place, and they all felt. I think if she's going to support John no matter what he is. And I think that's going to be what gets all of. And then when Trin said, when Sansa bends the knee or whatever, and she supports him, they're all going to go. But what I'm trying to say is, I think what's best for this, I guess, call it coalition, is for John to be the head of it. And the only way I think for him to be true head of it is for everyone to realize who he is. He's going to marry Dany, which will solidify that alliance.
You and this fucking Dany
I
and
actually do
marrying him.
think that they will get married.
They're gonna get
They're not
married,
going to
'cause I
make it
think-
that far.
I think they'll
Again,
get married in Winterfell.
They're going to
I
die
think
before that
because
happens.
John is going to stick to what that honor code of
We have
the
6
Starks where-
episodes. We have 6.
He's gonna find out.
Chris,
she's
We have
pregnant.
6
keep mentioning
episodes.
6 episodes. It
6.
takes 2 minutes to do a wet. Like
If
we're
they
not asking
explain,
for-
hold on. If hold on, just hear me out. Dany and John walk in, and hey, everyone, guess what? I'm a Targaryen. What? Now, if that problem is resolved in a 2-minute conversation, it's lazy fucking writing.
I disagree. and
It's
I'll tell you
lazy
why.
writing.
Keep in mind this: there's only going to be 2. There's only going to be 2. I guess what's the word I'm looking for? I guess we'll go with POVs. You're either going to be stuff in the north, or it's going to be south with Cersei. There isn't like before where there's 5 different areas. It's literally going to be Winterfell, King's Landing. So there's a lot of time you don't
To
need,
waste on
I'm
something
tired
like
of
that.
people saying there's only 6 episodes. It doesn't take 20 minutes to do a wedding. It takes 2 minutes for them to stand outside a tree, do the marriage, boom, let's move on.
Yeah,
in the
I think
council,
they'll just be like
it's-
saying their vows.
In the like there could be a scene where everyone's in that big meeting room, everyone's arguing. Jamie's saying what he should do, everyone's doing this, and then that's when you say, "Oh, by the way, John should be." And then it doesn't take 30 freaking minutes to explain who John really is. I
It's
think
going to be a big deal, though, because
gonna be a
that
big
it's
deal,
not
but
like, oh, I spilled milk. No, it is a
Same-
big deal.
it is a big deal, but I think it needs to happen to unite everyone because you get. Let's
They
say the
kneeled
Lannister army is
To
there,
a non-northerner.
but at the time, but you have to understand they're coming. There's no time for them. They know they're gonna get the Raven that each.
Well, if it's so important, then why didn't Cersei just jump on the bandwagon? They're coming.
Because Cersei's, we know who Cersei is. She only cares about herself. She even said we'll deal with that when it comes south. And I think that's Cersei's
All people
plan.
care about themselves. That's human nature.
John cares about defending everything.
And he's selfish. All human beings are selfish. That's nature, man. That's how it works.
I'm just saying, I think it's for the best because let's say the Lannister army is coming with, because we don't know. We know he dismissed the soldier. We knew from episode 7, he said, let's go right away. We have to march right away. No time for grab any food. Just march right away. So maybe the Lannister army's on his way with Jaime. Like, so you have a lot of egos in that room. Someone's going to have to step up and be in charge.
They already have John in charge. Like basically John is in charge of everything. He was running the show in King's Landing.
But keep in mind.
Now it's your turn to be argued with.
He is hopefully showing back up to Winterfell with a boatload of dragon glass. I'm assuming they mined it and took it with them because that would be really stupid if they didn't. And so he's going to arm all of these people with all of this dragon glass. They all know that he's seen the Night King. They all know that he's fought the Night. Well, not like one-on-one, but like he's fought at Hardhome. So I don't think it's going to be a question of should John be the leader. I think automatically by default he is already the leader.
But you have to consider there's Jorah Mormont who will automatically kind of disagree because he's kind of like that. You know, we saw that in the past. He disagreed with Dany going to Winterfell. You know, you have Tyrion who's going to be also gonna, Tyrion there. You have Jaime Lannister. If Jaime's in Winterfell, Jaime who thinks is the man is gonna have an issue. I'm not talking about the north side. I think he's got Giantsbane on his side. He's got Brienne. He's got Davos. He's got the Lords. He's got all that. I'm talking about the other side. I'm talking about Jorah Mormont, Tyrion, Varys, Jaime. Those are the people that I think is going to cause, because I think Jaime is going to want to be in charge. I don't think Jaime's going to take orders from Jon Snow. He'll never take orders from Jon Snow. He's going to command the Lannister. So I think that's why I think they have to tell everyone who he is so he can unite because everyone's got to get united.
Welcome, Kayleen. We're actually done the show, but we're doing a post show, kind of just arguing amongst each other. So welcome. I'm glad you were able to make it for some of it. That's awesome.
So,
and I also
wanted. Oh, go ahead.
No,
I think Theon. And I also.
Sorry, I think.
But you don't understand. But you don't understand. But you don't understand.
And I think. Stop. Why are you making fun of me?
Because you're an asshole sometimes.
I'm not an asshole. I don't want to be. I just get to be. I'm into this.
Yes, you're definitely.
You know this. I get into this stuff. I think Theon Greyjoy.
Go ahead, Theon.
I think Theon Greyjoy will play a wrench into Cersei's and Euron's plans.
That I can see that having some impact on Euron Greyjoy for sure, because Theon's mission right now is to go get Yara. Back to what you were saying about Tyrion. Everybody knows that Tyrion is extraordinarily well read, and that he knows a lot about history because of how well read he is. And that came up in season 1 when he was going up to the wall with Jon. Tyrion knows the history of Aegon Targaryen. And when Aegon landed, he did a couple of different battles with a very small army, but because he had dragons, he won. He had the Lannisters. He defeated them in the Field of Fire.
Along with the Reach.
Yeah, and the Reach. And he didn't allow the Green Hands it was the Green Hands were originally the Lords of the Reach.
Gardeners.
And he put the Gardeners.
Yeah.
Thank you. And Aegon Targaryen made the Tyrells the new Lords of the Reach. However, he didn't take away the Lannisters' power in the West. He actually made the Lannisters the Wardens of the West, even though he had fought them and defeated them.
Well,
and then he went to the north, and Torrhen Stark bent the knee, so he was the king who knelt. Tyrion, I think in that chamber when he was talking to Cersei, brought that back up and said, this is the history of our house. We tried to fight the Targaryens once. Our ancestors tried to fight the Targaryens once, and we lost, and because it's a futile attempt to try to win against them. And I think he talked Cersei into saying, hey, if you help us, she's like Aegon. She's kind of like the second Aegon. She will let you go back to Casterly Rock, and she will let you and Jaime. She doesn't have any issues with, incest or anything, because that was her family's deal. She will let you guys go back to Casterly Rock, and she will let you be the Wardens of the West if you help in all of this. And when Cersei came out, she gave that little speech of, I hope you remember that we chose to help in the time of need, blah, blah, blah. Because it's history repeating itself, even though Cersei was lying at the time. Tyrion understands that history. And so I don't know how he's going to feel about when he finds out about Jon, if he finds out about Jon. But I think he'll liken him more to Rhaegar.
I just think it's bad. I think it's a bad idea for him to... Like Bran said, we have to tell Jon. He didn't say we have to tell the realm. Yeah. We have to tell Jon. Jon is not going to tell people. It's going to be kept a secret.
Yeah, but I think Sam might.
Nobody has to know anything.
But I think in the heat of the moment, while everyone's going to be arguing, I think Sam's going to just same thing with how Sam stood up for Jon at the back in season 4. No, not season 5, when they were trying to name a new
Lord
Commander, Lord
Mhm.
Commander, he stood right up and said, John did this, John did that. And I think Sam is always protective of John. And I think Sam will be the one that says he's just going to blow out. He's the rightful king of the Seven Kingdoms. And he's going to say and it's just going to be like that. And I think that's how, and then Bran will just be like, he's right and stuff. And I think that's will happen.
You realize that you've said this earlier. The walkers are coming. The walkers are coming. Ooh, here they come. And why would you want to stand in front of your colleagues, the people that you're ruling, and say, "Oh, by the way, guys, we got this army coming. We have to stay banded together. Let's create dissension by reminding you, or by letting you all know that I just found this out too. So just so you all know, I'm not really a bastard Stark. I'm actually a Targaryen, legitimately. And you all knelt to me as the king of the North because you believed in, that and all this shit. I don't think that's the right time to do it. I think maybe you tell them after the battle. And then when humanity is safe.
Now he's king of Westeros now, though. But now he's king of Westeros. He'd be king of Westeros now because they'd crown him king. But
he still has to get the throne.
I think the key will be Leon Mormont, who will stand up and say, well, make some speech like she did before.
How is that going to fucking work?
Because
right?
Did she not put every lord in place, and all of a sudden
that's when she thought he was. They were related.
And I think she's going to mention Ned took him in when Ned took him in when he didn't have to. Ned raised him.
Well, that was good on Ned, but he's dead.
He was raised by Ned. Exactly. He was raised by Ned. He was raised in Winterfell. I think that's going to be the overwhelming thing.
So is Theon, but Theon's a dick.
And so was Arya, and now she's an assassin.
Yeah, but Theon had.
But here's something that we're also not touching on. What's it going to do to Jon?
To find out that he had sex with his cousin?
He has thought he was the bastard son of Ned Stark. We are completely forgetting what this information that Bran's about to tell him, what it will do to him. Everything he thought he knew is completely wrong. That's going to fuck him up.
He didn't want to be king. That's the worst part is he's always pushing away the leadership positions.
This is where
I don't want it. I don't want the responsibility.
John will say, he's going to push this aside and say, listen, we got a bigger threat.
Let's not tell people.
He's going to push it to the side. He's going to say, whatever. Okay. White Walkers are coming. Because John cares only one thing now. He's always cared from the White. As soon as he got back to Winterfell, it was only one thing that he's cared about. White Walkers are coming. It's all they ever cared about. Now they've reached a wall. I think he's going to push all that to the side. And when it's all said and done, he's going to say, I'm going to stay in Winterfell and whatever.
That's when you tell people that you're actually a Targaryen. Not before. Exactly. After. You do it after.
Thank you, Mama Cheryl. I tried.
You don't poke the fucking bear with the stick.
It's true.
There's too much writing.
The baby out with the bathwater.
There's too much writing on the faith, for the fate of humanity as they know it in their world. To all of a sudden throw this big giant fucking monkey wrench into their fucking motor, because regardless of what threat is coming, they're all prideful people. And they all have the honor and duty bullshit that the North clings to so hard. It's not a good idea. It's going to be hard enough for them to swallow that he bent the knee to fucking Dany, who is a goddamn Targaryen, John.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
With the history that they have.
Never mind the fact that he mounted her.
Speaking of mountains,
but he did it for the sake of the realm. Again, he's doing what a Stark did it. Torrhen Stark did the same thing.
He didn't have to have sex with her for the sake of the realm.
That was different. That was love.
You know, the cleanest, what is it? The quickest path to hell is paved with the best intentions.
That's true. Very true.
It will become slightly obvious, though, if we get to see Jon ride a dragon. Then people really, because he's a Targaryen.
Yeah, and people are going to be asking questions.
It's been a thing that the dragon has 3 heads. Well, and everybody was always trying to figure out this riddle of like who's the third rider. Well, nobody fucking saw that the Night King coming as the third rider.
Yeah,
that's true.
Everybody was always like, "Oh, it's going to be Jon. It's going to be Jon," and more than likely, we saw the Night King riding a dragon. We've seen Daenerys riding a dragon. Why wouldn't Jon get on Rhaego, his father's namesake.
You know what's going to happen? Syrio Forel's going to pop out of the side corner and go, Toasty, and jump on a dragon.
I know Andrew agrees with me that John, they'll tell everyone that he's a tiger. He's who he was. Because we mentioned this on our prediction episode.
John, I think Chris is
I think
right.
so, but not
Why
until
would you
after the battle.
Exactly.
To
Why
unite.
do it before?
And even,
Because
but wait a minute, but even if he doesn't, it doesn't hurt anything. If it's kept a secret, it doesn't hurt anything. He's probably still going to fucking marry her so you can get your dick hard that way. He's probably still going to have babies with her so you can have your penis hard that way too.
I just think it's going to come from Sam so organically. I think Sam is just going to come. I think it's going to come so organically.
Sam is not an idiot.
I don't
So
think
you
it's going to
think
be
Sam's
planned.
going to betray his best
Because
friend?
I think what's gonna happen is there's gonna be an argument between I'm assuming it's gonna be Jamie arguing with. There's gonna be all these arguments about what they should need to do, who's gonna lead the army and all this stuff. Jamie's gonna want to lead because he feels he's the most experienced. But then you have one
No, he's
side.
not.
No,
Not
he's
even a
not.
little.
He's not gonna wanna lead.
No.
Against
He's
White
just going to be
Walkers?
happy. He's just going to be
No.
happy to get refuge.
Yeah.
He's
No,
not
I
going to
don't
be
think
like, oh,
Jamie's
I got to
gonna
run the
lead.
show.
Listen, John, if they were fighting a normal army,
Yeah.
yes, you have a valid argument that Jamie would stand up and say, I should, because I
I
have
still
the
don't think
most
he would, Julie.
experience.
Okay, but
Because
then,
he's just looking for a
Jamie
place
has
to rest his head
never
at this
fought
point.
a White Walker.
I agree with you. I agree with you. So then, how about this then? When he tells everyone he bent the knee, everyone's gonna start arguing, and I think that's how Sam could just.
They already
what
know that he
accident-
bent the knee.
Yeah, they already know.
Do they? Do the
Yeah,
whole
the
North
Raven.
know?
There was a
Yeah, but that
message.
Raven
There was a
was-
Raven sent.
No,
but
it
he
was
didn't
very
say he bent the
specific.
knee.
Yes, he did.
Yes.
the
he
Raven
did.
Because Sansa
said-
got pissed off.
Raven said that he's coming with Daenerys. He never said he bent the knee. I think we have to go back and.
I'm pretty sure he
No,
said
I was
because
told.
Sansa was like, "What the hell am I supposed to do now?" He
Yeah,
bent
she
the
was
knee.
pissed.
I think the Raven was that Dany was coming with John. I don't think there was any mention of bent the knee
I think
to,
that
and I
he
don't think the
did
whole
say-
North knows. I think only Sansa kept that to herself. I don't think all the lords.
I think
know he
she did
bent-
keep it to herself, but I think she knows
She's
he bent
pissed.
the knee. He
pissed.
sent her, sent her a thing, and that they're on their way back, and he bent the knee to Daenerys. Plus, Brienne of Tarth was at the meeting in King's Landing when he declared her
His allegiance to
Daenerys
Dany,
as,
yeah.
his queen. So, I mean, that is not a surprise to anyone. Everybody's gonna know he bent the knee. Like it's not gonna be a secret. I'm thinking that because we got the one teaser trailer, or not trailer, but the teaser of the 3 Stark kids in the crypts, and there was like Lyanna talking in the background and Ned Stark talking in the background, and the last thing that Ned Stark said when he was alive to Jon was, "The next time we see each other, I'll tell you about your mother." And I think that's going to play into Jon's going to learn, maybe this is just a theory, but Jon's going to learn the truth in the crypts in front of his statue, maybe. I don't know. I think that'd be a good way to like tie it up. Like Bran is down
Well,
there.
yeah, it is kind of curious that they ran that teaser trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Like they didn't run a teaser of, a dragon flying over Winterfell. They ran a teaser of the 3 kids down in the crypts. There's a reason for that.
And you heard Catelyn's voice. Well, I guess I don't know if we'll have another episode where we talk about this before the show premiere. So I guess we can talk about it. I don't know. But you had Catelyn's voice. You had Ned's voice. You had Lyanna's voice. I think it was just the parents, right?
Yeah, I think it was Ned, Catelyn, and Lyanna.
Mm-hmm.
But it's listen, however which way we slice it, I think we're all gonna be like, what the fuck? Like, I mean, again, Trin, you're right. Most of the High Council of the North knows that Jon bent the knee.
Yeah.
They know it.
Yeah.
And the only person that seems pissed about it from what we can remember was Sansa.
Right.
Just because she's like, well, Jesus Christ, now what the hell do we do?
Right.
And I think
she
that's
yields
another thing where
Winterfell.
Sansa's going to have to learn.
Yeah. The only thing we know about the season coming up, because the little tiny bit of clips that we got was Sansa saying, "Winterfell is yours, Your Grace." So she's yielding Winterfell over to Dany. So she knows from the moment they walk up that he's already bent the knee.
Yeah. And I think let's say it all goes magical unicorns and horseshoes and all that happy rainbow stuff. And let's say that they do survive this. Let's say that they do survive it. And they do take Cersei off the throne, and Dany does assume her position as, I don't think Jon is going to take that throne. I really don't. He never wanted it.
Both of them.
He's splitting the Seven Kingdoms back up.
Well, he never wanted it to begin with.
No.
But I believe Dany will sit. Let's say that it does happen. Dany's going to sit on the throne. Jon's not going back to Winterfell. Sansa's going to control Winterfell.
Mm-hmm.
Jon is going to stay with her, especially if she's pregnant with his offspring. He's not going anywhere far away from Dany.
Mm-hmm.
Hell to the no. Not after losing Ygritte. He's not going to let that happen again.
Well, the baby thing, because he doesn't want to have a child who's a bastard. So he wants to be in the life of the child. And he's made that very point multiple times throughout the show.
Yeah.
That like, the thought of having a bastard,
which is why he embraced going to the wall.
Which is also why I think that if he finds out she's pregnant, he's going to want to marry her, whether or not he's
I have a feeling they may have already discussed it. Marriage? There's a lot of like innuendos about it, especially when they were at Dragonstone. There was a lot of parts where we didn't see a lot of the two of them. Mm-hmm. I have a feeling they may have already discussed that this was what was going to have to happen in order to at least rally most of the Seven Kingdoms. Right? It has to happen, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that they're going to do it at the Weirwood Tree, as has every single Stark from the beginning of time. I don't think Dany's going to turn away from that. I think she's going to find it very endearing that it's such a long-standing tradition. And I think they're going to find out after that she is with child. I think that it's set in stone that they're going to marry. And I think then they're going to find out that she is.
Like a political marriage?
I
mean, they love each other, obviously.
Well, I think it started out political. And then obviously, as it progressed between the two of them, that's when you started to see the love between them. Because if I'm not mistaken, one I can't remember if it was Davos or somebody said that he was going to have to create a bond between the two of them to rally the kingdoms, right? So it was already pretty much discussed. Well, yeah. I think them falling in love was a caveat to the whole thing. Right. And I really think that they're going to do it when they get back to Winterfell, like do it right away. But as soon as they find out that Dany's with child, that's going to be an even bigger conflict, because Jon is going to be like, well, now what the hell do we do? Because I don't want her going into battle while my child is in her stomach. So I think then you're going to get Jon
on a dragon. Yeah.
There you go. That's how it's going to transition into that.
Like, I'll go ride the dragon because by the way, I'm a Targaryen. So yes, that is very, very likely. Dany went to Westeros knowing that she was probably going to have some kind of marriage alliance.
Yeah, because Tyrion was talking to her about that.
She dumped
before they got on the boat.
Dario Naharis because she was like, I got to show up single.
Yep.
So yeah, I think it's absolutely in her wheelhouse and in her mind that she's one of the best ways to win over the Northerners would be to marry Jon.
And she knows, if she knows the Targaryen history, if she knows the history of her father, if she knows the history of her forebears, if she knows the history, it's always been difficult to get the North on your side. This is the best way to do that.
Agreed.
Of course, it's also going to help that Jon's a Targaryen, and I'm sure Dany's going to be like, what?
Yeah. Oh, what? I just fucked my cousin? What?
I don't think that she's going to have a problem with it.
I don't think she has a flying rat's ass that she fucked her cousin. She's a Targaryen. That's normal for them.
She grew up thinking that she was going to marry Viserys. So
I don't think though, in the show, I don't think she admits that, though. She might have a little different. I think she might have a different opinion of it in the show. I don't think it's going to be that much of a. It's not going to be much of a point of contention. No. But it's going to be like a brief. Oh, Chris, shit! Fuck
Chris,
it. Was
do you think it's going to maybe ease the tension a little bit? Like, let's say she does have an issue with it. Do you think it'll ease her mind a little bit that she knows that he is the offspring of Rhaegar, who was supposed to be the greatest Targaryen since sliced bread. Like that, her uncle, like who everybody
I can't presume
loved.
to know what. I don't know. I can't imagine. I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, I'm so glad that I fucked my brother's kid.
Yeah, but
Wow.
it's Rhaegar though.
Just push everything to the side and focus on the war.
I don't know. I just think that if I'm Jon Snow, I'm keeping that shit to myself. I am not telling a motherfucking soul. I'll be like, Bran, you can't say nothing. Sam, give me your word. Oh yeah, we're brothers. Oh, Night's Watch brothers. Okay, well then just shut the fuck up and because let's just ride the storm. It ain't gonna matter because Jon ain't gonna fucking make it to the end.
He is.
He will not make it.
Don't fight this. He's make it to the end. I'm telling you, don't fight this, Chris.
Jon will not make it. I think Dany's gonna make it.
I think it's.
No, I think Dany's dying.
I think if it
Dany's
comes
dying.
down to it, I think Jon is gonna have to be the one to kill the night guy.
I agree with that 100%.
He's
that's
gonna
gonna
have
be
to
Bran.
be the one to kill him.
I think
No, Bran's gonna have to figure out how to kill the dragon.
I think Bran's gonna kill the Night King in his mind. I think they're gonna have a mind battle.
I really think that Jon is gonna
And I
have
think
Jesus
Jon is
Christ.
gonna
Jon's gonna
have
do
to
the
be
physical
one
form.
that kills the Night King. He's gonna have to be.
Bran ain't gonna kill shit in a dream.
He's the dream
He
creeper.
might, because you don't know what the Night King's power.
2.0.
Maybe he can
The
go into
the
someone
three-eyed
else's.
raven said that they cannot affect change in that state.
But
We
yet he
cannot
touched Bran
affect
and-
change.
But he was able to. Didn't he touch Bran, and that allowed him to cross the barrier that no other White
True,
Walker
but
could do
remember the three-eyed
before,
raven.
so-
That's true, but the three-eyed raven said that we cannot make change. He didn't say that
In
the
the
Night King
past.
couldn't make change.
He
Well,
said we can make
but
change
I
in
mean,
the
in
past.
essence, though, doesn't he? Don't
This is
they
the
affect
present.
change?
Well, it's kind of like
But he
anything else.
said- but he-
The writers can change the rules whenever the fuck they want
but
by
That's
writing
true.
in magical powers.
He
That's
said
true.
you can't make change in the past. We're not talking about the past. We're talking about the present. When Bran had that thing of it's the present we're talking about.
I don't think the Blood Raven knew what he was talking about
And I
because
think-
Bran
yeah, and I don't think
affected
people-
Hodor.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, exactly. Bran affected Hodor.
Yeah, that's some weird shit right there.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I don't know. Could you? I mean, if Bran's going to be able to defeat the Night King with his mind, why hasn't he done it already?
I think
Maybe
there's-
because he has to be close to him.
Yeah, and I think because we don't know, maybe the Night King can jump from like his consciousness or whatever can go into another body. So if you kill him, and maybe that's why
You should
the
do a
original
midichlorian count.
and that's why stop. We're not. That's why the original time they thought they killed the Night's King and he only went into a different body. Because we only know that we know from the past. Okay, Azor Ahai.
We didn't
pulled
hear
the
anyone
Night
killed, right?
King.
We just heard they were defeated.
Well, we know they were defeated, but do we know the Night King was defeated? Do we know any of that? We don't know. Maybe the Night King was defeated, but his consciousness just jumped into another body, and because we don't know how powerful he truly is.
Does anybody at all wonder who the Night King was in the normal form?
Well,
I don't think anybody cares anymore.
there's a theory he's a Stark. There's a theory
Yeah,
that
of
there's-
course,
Mike
there's a
Stark.
theory he's a Stark. Of course.
No, it's a
Talked
pretty
about on this episode.
strong.
Yeah.
Talked about in this episode.
It's
that-
definitely stronger than Serial
He
Pharrell being Jack and
Wasn't
Agar.
he a Lord Commander of the Night's Watch? Who,
Something
That
like
I'm
that.
not sure because
there was like a Ice Queen or something. that
that's
he,
different. Because they only founded the Night's Watch after the Long Night to protect that's the night. The Night's Watch was created after the Long Winter's Night.
mm,
The Long
After
Winter
Bran
Wall.
built the wall.
hmm So then that story wouldn't
Yeah,
make
so
sense
that
at all.
that wouldn't make sense at all then.
Well,
I think a lot of people think a Stark is. I think me and Andrea we talked about this on an episode, one of the past episodes that the Night's King could be a Stark.
I have a theory. The Night King
Oh.
is Serial Pharrell from the future, reverted
I
through
have
the past after him and Jack and Agar
I have a prediction.
Get it
were
on.
love. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to.
I have
So
I have a
many stupid
prediction.
theories sometimes. I swear to God.
I have a prediction.
Okay, let's hear this one.
This is Theon Greyjoy. So we know that he wants to go after and save his sister
Wow,
Yara.
this is funny.
So
this is
I think-
funny coming
How did
from
we
you.
go from the Night King to Theon?
Because I wanted to
Greyjoy?
mention this and I never got a chance of
Right.
mentioning it now.
You can
So
mention it when
I
we talk about
think-
Theon.
I think Theon is going to find a way to get onto Euron's ship, and I think he's going to challenge Euron to that Greyjoy tradition of one-on-one. What's it called? One-on-one combat where winner gets control. You know, is that the king?
Theon
What's it
was
called?
a King's Moot.
I think Theon beats him.
No.
Somehow Theon comes up and beats him, takes control of that Greyjoy fleet.
Hold on a second.
Theon has not been the same since he
Hold on.
lost his penis.
You think that Theon is going to beat Euron
Yes.
in a one-on-one fight?
Yes.
You
Where
have
they
been
do-
smoking
what's
way
it
too much
called?
fucking
Trin, what's it
ganja.
called? The Greyjoy thing where they do like a one-on-one fight and the
The
winner gets.
Greyjoy thing.
Is that the Greyjoy thing?
That's
I
a
can't
Greyjoy.
No,
remember.
that's not
Theon's
the
missing
Greyjoy
the
thing.
Greyjoy
So-
thing,
It's not
okay?
called the King's Mute or something where
The
they
King's
challenge?
Moot. No.
That's not
The
it.
King's Moot was where they voted. They chose their own king, and it was like a round table kind of
Well,
discussion.
They went to
think
the Bones
Theon
of
is gonna
Naga,
come-
right? The
think
Bones of
Theon-
Naga.
Naga.
I think Theon will get onto that boat. He'll look right into.
Something like
He'll challenge Euron. It says, "If I win, I become king of the whatever thing of the Greyjoys. If I
Iron
lose,
Islands.
Iron Islands." And I think Euron's gonna be so cocky, he's gonna agree to it because all the men are gonna be around, so they're gonna want to see this. And I think somehow, some way,
What the
Theon
fuck is he
kills him.
smoking?
And
When
becomes
does this exactly happen?
What-
Because
what are you smoking?
Isn't Theon? Aren't they in the north?
Oh, Theon is
No.
stayed on Dragonstone, and he went out. He's like, we got to go after Yura, and he killed that guy.
After
He
Yara?
killed
I
that
don't think he didn't kill him. He just
He
beat the
beat
shit
him
out of
down.
him.
And he said, and now they're going after Euron, and I think it's gonna be he's gonna get onto that ship, and I think
Do
somehow
you remember,
yeah.
Julie? There was a pep talk where Theon was in Dragonstone in the throne room,
On
and
the
he's talking to
beach.
Jon. No, he was talking to
Oh,
Jon
but
in
I'm
the
talking
throne room,
about- okay.
and Jon's like, "You're a Stark and a Greyjoy," and he was like, "Oh yeah," and he goes, "I really, Yara's the only
I
one
love
who
the way
believed
you
in me."
summed that up. Oh,
And
yeah,
he
you're
goes,
right.
Yara's the only one who ever believed in me, and now she needs me. And John's like, "What are you doing here?" Like,
Oh yeah,
go,
yeah. Okay,
go
yeah.
help her. And then he goes down to the beach and gets.
And
his
then he
butt
gets the shit
kicked.
kicked out of him on the beach.
And then the guy like tries to knee him in the balls, but he doesn't have any balls, so he's like, "Oh, I can kick your ass now because that didn't hurt me."
Oh yeah, that's right.
I think there's
Okay.
some scrappy thing I think Theon is gonna fight Euron. Euron's gonna get cocky, and then I think somehow
And then he's gonna grow his penis back.
and then Theon is gonna somehow
And
beat
then
Euron
Syrio's
and
gonna
take
come out
control of
too.
that.
He's really Serial Pharrell.
I think Theon is gonna kill Euron and take control of that fleet.
Sir,
and save
keep
his
smoking
sister.
that fucking Canadian ganja because you
Well,
are out of
think
your
about it.
mind.
There's
He
no
says-
way Theon's
Well, think
gonna
about
beat
it.
him.
He's got one ship, and he says, "I'm gonna go after Yura." Yura, right? I think that's
Yara.
what's gonna happen.
Yara. Yara.
How many
Yara.
people have ever been saved in the Game of Thrones?
Sansa.
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 Theon.
I think it's
By
the only one we can
Theon.
come up with.
Theon, if Theon goes to face Euron without some kind of really, really nifty plan,
Yeah,
then
he's fucked.
Theon is dead. Euron
He's gonna
is
sneak her out and jump over the
Yeah.
edge just like he did with Sansa. Because Theon doesn't fight; he runs away. So
I don't-
he's just gonna run away with her.
just run away. He's gonna be like Forrest Gump. I just started running. I'm gonna tell you something right now. Euron doesn't get a lot of credit apparently, but he is one. He's a badass son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
He is a
Right.
badass mother
I think
effer.
you're underestimating with Theon. I think Theon's gonna
Dude.
dig deep and win.
Theon hasn't been himself since he lost his penis. That's not coming back, honey. He's not going to be able to beat that guy.
He defended
No
Sansa.
way.
Defended
gonna dig
Sansa.
deep.
There's parts of him. He defended Sansa when
No, he
when
didn't.
Sansa yeah, he did until
When?
till Brienne came. He did. He was there. He got her to
Yeah.
safety.
All he did was run away with
He
He
her.
ran
didn't
away.
defend her.
I
He
don't know.
ran away.
He didn't like
I-
stay and
I
fight
think
anybody.
I think you guys are all underestimating Theon here. I think he's gonna come up big. I think there's gonna be a lot of cocky and showboating by
Okay, hold
Euron.
on, John.
And
Let
I
me
think
ask you
we're
a
gonna-
legitimate question. At what point, like literally, this is a legit question. I'm not trying to be an ass. I'm just asking a legit question. When in the entire history of watching Game of Thrones or reading the books, has Theon ever given you any cause where you would think that he could beat somebody as skilled a fighter as his uncle? At any point, where has it shown you that he could do such a feat?
Is he a skilled fighter though? Is Euron
No.
a skilled fighter?
Do you
Yes,
not remember
Euron
seeing
really
him
that skilled.
tear
We've
up
never seen him.
everybody that he came across with a
Never
fucking
saw-
axe?
We see him in the Navy. We see him in the Naval a one-on-one.
But that's not the point. Where
was-
in Theon's past has he shown you that he could go toe to toe with this guy?
He hasn't. He's never fought. The only thing he's ever done was bow and arrow.
Yeah, he's shot people and ran away.
He fought alongside Robb Stark. We
Robb
Stark
haven't seen it
in the battle, and he was trained by what's his name now from
Lewin?
Roderick.
No,
or
Roderick.
Yeah, Roderick.
He was trained. He's got some skill in him. I think he's gonna dig deep. I
but
think
again, you're dancing around the question I'm asking.
Never. But there's always a time.
Right, exactly.
Beat up that guy on the beach. But he beat up the guy on the beach.
Barely.
He dug.
Barely.
He beat him up because the guy got cocky because he kicked him in the dick and he didn't have one.
Euron's not going to get cocky.
Of course he is. He's the most cocky, arrogant bastard there is. He's going to be cocky.
Kind of like a rock.
He's going to showboat that he's got him beat, and then
Did you forget that how many people he killed with that axe? From I mean, go back and watch that, dude.
Even if he does get cocky about it, I guarantee you, Theon's not going to be the one to kill him. Yara's going to be the one that comes up behind him.
No, I
and
can see that.
Stabs her with a fucking knife.
I can see that.
That's what's going to happen. And Theon's going to be standing like, because Theon's a shell.
I think Theon's full redemption arc will be him killing Euron and becoming fully redeemed.
Okay, but let me ask this question. Why the fuck would the producers of Game of Thrones give a shit about Theon's redemption? That's not even.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Wait a second. Wait, stop. We're missing a very important part here. John is talking about the redemption of Theon Greyjoy, who murdered and burned 2 children.
Here we go.
Right.
I know where this is going.
Jamie only pushed one kid out of a window.
Yeah, so he has to.
Hold on. Jamie only pushed one kid out of a window, and the kid lived, and now he's like the super brain, but he's not redeemable.
Not yet.
But Theon is.
Not yet. He hasn't done enough yet to redeem in my eyes. For
Theon's
Jamie.
never, and Jamie's never been with a whore. Theon's been with all the whores. Okay, Jamie's been with a sister.
Jamie might have been,
but at least he was monogamous.
No,
Jamie's never been with anybody but his sister.
She's a whore.
Fact.
She's a whore.
Well, yes, she's a whore. That's true.
In the book,
she's a whore.
That's true.
I just think,
but not officially. She's not paid for it, so.
Come up with the win. I just have a few.
I'm just saying that. How can you fight so hard for Jamie?
Somehow Theon will get him. Just like the way Oberyn was being cocky.
See, you talk out of both sides of your mouth, buddy.
When I'm right again, you'll see. When I'm right again, you'll be like,
no, because I have a feeling that a lot of your predictions
shit
are
about
fucking
Theon's
toast.
redemption.
So you have to find a way to kill Euron, right? Like you have to find a way to kill Euron.
There's lots of
This would be
ways.
a good way to kill him.
Yeah.
Yara's
a dragon.
Prisoner. How is she gonna get free? She's a prisoner.
She's fucking Yara.
We don't know if she's on Pike.
Come
we don't know if she's on Pike or if she's in the boat. We don't know where she is. She could be on
How
Pike.
How many prisoners other than Arya have escaped?
Jamie doesn't count.
If I had a cricket soundboard, I would use it.
No, I'm saying like Jamie doesn't count because he was set free by Catelyn.
Yeah. There's also a White Walker army coming. So let's bring first. Let's not bring first.
So there's a White Walker army, but let's go ahead and talk about Theon's redemption.
There's gonna be but there's only gonna be 2 arcs. There's only gonna be 2 areas that they're gonna focus on. It's either gonna be scenes from Winterfell.
There's more than that, John. According to John, there's like 8 arcs. There's John getting married to Dany.
No, not arcs.
There's John having a baby with Dany. There's John admitting that he is a Targaryen, and everyone's saying, "Oh, yay, happy day." There's Theon. There's Theon's redemption story. There's Cersei being killed or face fucked by Arya.
Serial Pharrell. Don't forget Serial Pharrell.
Oh yes, he's coming back.
There's only going to be 2 locations. It's either going to be scenes at Winterfell in the north, or there's going to be scenes at King's Landing. Like in the past, you always had. There's a Dragonstone scene. There's King's Landing, there's the Wall, there's the North, there's this, there's that. Now it's only just 2 areas they're going to focus on. So when they go south, it's going to be Cersei and Euron, and if you go north, it's going to be everything at Winterfell.
Right, but they're not going to have the budget for a fucking battle on a boat.
Yes, they are. They're going crazy with this bat. I'm not talking one fight scene is going to be a budget. Come on, you guys. They're spending a lot of money on this stuff.
Yeah, but it's not cheap. Anything they do is not cheap. They do it. They do it right or they go home. They've been really good about their battle scenes. We can all agree on that at the very least, I hope.
Yeah, we need to write this down that John says that Theon's going to kill Euron because I'm pretty sure it'll be Yara. He's not going after.
Yo, we need to make a poll on the Behind the Iron Throne Twitter. Like, is Theon going to beat
Well, we don't know where
Euron,
Yura.
yes or no?
Yeah, but we don't know where Yura is though. Trinity. I don't think he'd
So-
just throw her into a Pike prison. I think he's gonna keep her with her at all times.
I guarantee you,
ship.
Yara is with him every step
Yeah.
of the way.
So
he's
he's
not
gotta
stupid.
go on that ship.
Yeah.
He's gonna go onto that ship and be like, he's got one ship and a crew.
He's gonna get on the ship with Gendry in the pontoon boat. Like what
Gendry's
the
in
fuck?
the north. Gendry's in the north.
There
That's
you
old.
go. There you
That's
go,
old.
Mama Cheryl. Drink it up.
That's old. That's old. We don't even. Gendry's he's in the north.
So
Come on.
Theon
It
didn't
was a
say
joke, dude. It
we're
was a
going
joke.
to kill Euron. He said we're going to go rescue my sister.
Right.
So that's Theon's mission. His mission
Yeah.
isn't to go kill
But
Euron.
I think
Yara's gonna
rescue
go
her,
kill Euron.
but to
Yara's gonna
rescue-
kill him.
But to rescue her, he
No.
might have to kill Euron.
No, because she rescued him from, attempted to rescue him from Ramsay
She's
Bolton
on
without
the
killing
boat.
Ramsay.
Didn't
All he's
Euron
got to
kill
do,
both
all
of the
he's
sand
gotta
snakes?
do is
It's
open
killing
the
two
gate
snakes
to the key,
doesn't-
open her
doesn't-
cell, and
Didn't he kill
Yara
two of
will
them?
fucking hunt his ass
Yes.
down.
Yes.
We'll see. I just think.
And I think that they were pretty. I don't know how good of a fighter Yara is compared to them, but they were played up to be pretty badass, and they got killed by Euron, and he
Just
only had
remember.
a fucking axe.
Yara is badass.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
she
I'm not
is.
saying she's not badass.
I'm not saying she's not badass.
She's definitely badass.
She's
locked
more
up in
badass than
prison.
Theon.
But
she's
but
locked
Euron
up-
but
she's
Euron is
locked up in
nuts.
his ship though. Like for him
For
to
the
sneak
moment-
on that ship, break her out, and then do no. I think it's gonna be a challenge.
I think that would be like the most honorable thing that Theon could get away with as a somebody who would be writing this story. I would never put Theon against Euron because all of the fans, book and show, know
Yeah, he
where
wouldn't,
Theon's
yeah.
head is. That just
Exactly.
doesn't make sense. And why the hell would you write that garbage in there?
So-
Theon would get
Snap out
killed.
of it.
So
Yeah,
what the
Theon
way
would
Snap
get
out of it.
murdered.
the way I would
There's
write it.
glimpses of Theon, like you see glimpses of Theon getting back to normal.
Everybody,
you see that
just
when
want you all to know this: that Jon Stamos is defending Theon fucking
know, right?
Greyjoy,
With-
Theon saved
that-
Sansa. Theon
that
saved my girl Sansa.
betrayed.
My future wife, Sophie Turner. My
Euron-
Sansa.
Euron
He saved
Greyjoy.
Sansa, and in my eyes, that's something
You
I got.
think that Theon Greyjoy is gonna marry Sansa?
I never said
No,
that.
that's not what he's saying. He's going to marry. Jonathan Stolmos is going to
Good
marry
luck.
her.
That's never.
Actually,
she's
that's not
about to
gonna
marry a
happen,
Jonas
because
brother. You
Jonathan
guys
I
know
is
give
why.
going to
that a
marry
year.
Jon
I give
Snow.
that a year. I give that a year.
Jon
So-
Snow is going to be his concubine or whatever you call it. His
Anyways.
lover in the sheets.
But we,
Anyway.
we see glimpses of the old Theon,
Yeah.
especially on that beach
Yep.
where
Mhm.
he came in and he said, "I'm taking back." You seeing glimpse of him coming
John,
back. The
have
Remember
you
the big
ever-
speech he did in Winterfell when he
you
got his head
ever-
knocked in by his buddy with you know.
Hold on,
remember
hold on.
that?
Have you ever seen somebody who has gone through the kind of torture that that Theon Greyjoy has gone to? They will never become who they once were. Ramsay broke him down to like a literal piece of dirt. People that go through that do not come back to their former selves. You may see glimpses of Theon, of what you think is Theon. He's never going to be anywhere remotely close to the Theon he used to be.
I have a prediction.
We'll have to see then. But
Here's
I
my
s-
prediction.
What's your prediction?
Theon goes to this giant fleet that apparently they don't see him. He gets onto Euron's boat. He then urinates off of Euron's boat. Get it? Euron urinates. No, okay. He breaks Yara free, somehow not eluding not letting everybody know this, and then she goes to kill King Head Dingaling of the Greyjoys, Euron, and Euron kills her instead. Now Theon is like, I really fucked up, and then Euron kills him.
Nah.
That's the way the
Yeah.
Game of Thrones fucking works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's more probable.
That's
than
how it
Theon
works.
Way
killing
more
Euron.
probable than anything else. Yeah.
Mhm.
You're welcome, George.
Theon's redemption.
I think
Get the
Theon
fuck outta
kills.
here.
I think
The
Theon.
guy that turned his back on Robb Stark, this guy's defending.
He
Does he
jumped
save Sansa?
Overboard.
He saved Sansa. He saved Sansa.
Get
He
the
jumped
fuck out of
overboard. He
here.
couldn't save his
Well,
sister.
Sansa's my girl. I'm gonna defend the guy who helped save Sansa.
No,
so-
your girl is Jon Snow. That's who your
Shut up.
fucking girl is.
Shut up, Chris.
Dude,
Yeah, I'm not doing.
he betrayed Robb fucking Stark.
Yeah, but he jumped overboard when he had a chance to maybe save his sister.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
And he
I'm telling you,
jumped.
He's
Listen,
not.
write it
He's
down.
gonna see Euron, and he's gonna
Write
start
it down.
freaking out, and that PTSD
Write it
is gonna
down.
come back, and
Yeah,
he's just gonna be like,
exactly.
ah.
That's my
He can't-
prediction.
he can't
I'm not
face
arguing
Euron.
this. It's my prediction. He's gonna challenge Euron, and he's gonna somehow
You
find a
live in
way
a-
to beat him because
If
Euron's gonna get
Euron
all
has
cocky
one
and
dog
arrogant.
on that boat, he's fucked.
Euron's gonna get all
Theon's
cocky.
fucked, dude.
Euron's gonna get all
Yeah,
cocky and
right.
arrogant, and that's it.
Doggy.
Watch.
Yeah,
Basically,
we're
take
gonna
his
see.
shit and you'll see.
Yeah, we're gonna see.
Write it down.
Such a load of horse shit.
Write it down. Write it down.
Redemption. Oh, fucking.
You're out of your
I
mind.
gotta go.
Yes, I gotta go too. Anyway,
Oh,
thanks everyone that stuck with us for the live argument here at the end of the show.
Right?
Love our YouTube feed peoples. Mama Cheryl still
Mark my
with
words.
us. Still throwing
Euron
it.
kills Euron.
This is why you come
Negative.
live.
Don't
Mark
listen
my
to this
words.
guy. He's crazy. But in a good way.
Canadian ganja.
Not crazy.
It's
not
cheap.
crazy.
Canadian
You'll see.
ganja. Is it legal up there?
And you think it happened in
Yeah.
the Westeros?
Nice. We all should just move to fucking Canada and get that Canadian bang bang, baby.
If there's one thing we've learned in the Game of Thrones is that
Play
there
the
is
fucking
very
long
little to
games.
no chance of any redemption stories.
yeah,
You
there's
You
no
don't live
such
long
thing.
enough.
Yeah.
The
Live-
ultimate
live long and
redemption would
prosper.
have been for Peter Baelish, but he got his throat slashed.
Like
And
like
that
that's the
didn't
word.
happen, bro.
Okay, we'll see you all next time. 2 weeks from now.